peace with life and himself. For he knows the inevitable problems that we all have to face in life and which we must learn from. He understands that his greatest enemy has always been himself, and until he conquers that, he can go no further. Until he does so, he will see himself as a victim of the trials and tribulations of life, which adds to the burden of his own unconscious. The Holy Grail is a symbol of the self, the psychic totality and ultimate wholeness of the human being. It is the vital force that drives us towards individuation, the process of bringing one's unconscious contents into consciousness. If we're not trying to become whole, we are cut off from the true source of our being and we feel empty. Encountering the Grail does not impart direct knowledge, but rather gives us an emotional readiness to receive a numinous experience of our inner center. The Grail story is itself a projection of the self as an inner center, unrealized and inaccessible to most. It is the inner guide that is God's voice, the hidden disposition to wholeness which slumbers in the depths of the unconscious of each person. The connections between the Grail legend and alchemy are so abundant and profound that it may well be asked why Carl Jung did not include them in his researches into the psychology of alchemy. The reason was that he promised never to talk or write about the Grail, as his wife, Emma Jung, spent 30 years of her life researching the topic. However, she died before she could finish and publish her work, and Jung asked Marie-Louise von Franz, one of his greatest students, to complete his wife's lifelong endeavor, finally published as the Grail legend. Psychologically, the Grail story is of great interest, as it is both a fairy tale, the purest and simplest expression of collective unconscious psychic processes, interwoven with a Christian legend. This remarkable blend gives the Grail stories their peculiar character, for through these stories, the eternal fairy tale enters, as it were, the realm of the Christian eon, and thus reflects not only fundamental human problems, but also the dramatic psychic events which form the background of Christian culture. The problem of Christianity resides in the one-sided masculine and light side of God embodied in Christ, which created a drifting apart of the opposites of spiritual matters and worldly matters, choosing holiness instead of humanity. This had to be complemented by a feminine and dark side to represent the paradoxical wholeness of the self. The sacred must be complemented with daily life, the spiritual with the material. The problem of opposites and the failure to recognize and integrate the shadow, all that is within us that we do not know about, were responsible for the Fisher King's sickness, who represented the dominant attitude or collective unconscious. Thus, he had to die or be restored and redeemed before the land could again turn fertile. It is as if the dark aspect of divinity had attacked the king in order to awaken him to a more conscious religious attitude. If there's any one-sidedness to a pair, a conversion or shift over to the other is likely. This is the fundamental psychological law of enantiodromia. Until we grapple with the dark divinity, like Jacob and Job who wrestled with God, the collective unconscious of mankind cannot come to a realization of the totality of the God image. Emma Jung and von Franz write, "The natural symbols of psychic wholeness, or the self, do not fully coincide empirically with the traditional figure of Christ, since the shadow is missing in the latter, or else appears split off into the contrasting figure of the Antichrist. In alchemy, on the other hand, the image of Anthropos, or of the Son of Man, was continually amplified since its earliest appearances, and in the image of the Lapis and of Mercurius was expanded into a paradoxical symbol of the self, in which the opposites were reconciled." Medieval alchemy represented an undercurrent that compensated and supplemented the deficiencies and the conflicts in Christianity. For this reason, many alchemists themselves compared the lapis to Christ, setting them up as parallels to him, and in so doing felt unconsciously that their work was a continuation of Christ's work of redemption. The return to Celtic myth and other ancient symbolism, as well as the apocryphal traditions of early Christianity present in the Grail legend, seek to complete the Christ image by the addition of features which had not been taken sufficiently into account by ecclesiastical tradition. Percival is thus not only a symbolic representation of the foolish hero, but also represents the problem of the psychological development of the Christian age, in which he appears as the archetype of the savior. Percival, like the alchemists, is also called to a specific work of redemption, in order to compensate the Christ image then dominating the collective unconscious. Thus, Percival appears as a projection of the true and total man, or the divine component in man, the self, which gradually emerges from the depth of the unconscious and releases areas of the psyche previously cut off from life. The figure of Merlin, the archetype of the wise old man, plays an important role in the union of opposites as well, and has inspired a vast amount of literature. It is a case of the breakthrough of an archetypal image, which represents an intensely constellated psychic content. In Robert de Boron's work, Merlin, Christ descends into hell and releases Adam and Eve. The devils become wrathful and try to entice men back to hell, so they send a prophet up from hell. Merlin, the child of a devil or incubus that impregnates a pure young girl. He is to be the counterpart of the Son of God, the Antichrist. However, the light side, which comes from his mother, ultimately makes him pledge himself to Christ. Thus, Merlin has both knowledge of the past, because of his demonic nature, but also knowledge of the future, which Christ endowed him with. Like the alchemical Mercurius, he is an embodiment of the whole man, a figure that unites Christ, the light half of the self, with its dark half, the Antichrist, in one being. Though Merlin's role is crucial in the Grail legend, acting as the counselor to King Arthur, he remains for the most part hidden in the background, giving him a mysterious quality like the Holy Grail. As the Antichrist, Merlin symbolizes the Deus Absconditus, the hidden god, and as such, the dark element that would complete the Trinity by expanding it into a quaternity, thus fulfilling the saying of Maria Prophetessa, out of the third comes the one as the fourth. In the story, there is a red dragon and a white dragon who fight underneath the kingdom, relating to the problem of the opposites, which is unconscious, a problem of which the people of the time were unaware of, but which they felt nonetheless. In alchemy, however, these opposites should be united, since red and white are the colors of king and queen, sun and moon, who come together in the chemical wedding. Something is therefore separated, which in nature should be united, and it is Merlin who points this out. However, as is portrayed in Geoffrey of Monmouth's Vita Merlini, the Life of Merlin, the wizard withdraws into the forest, away from society, because he has gone mad. He lives like a wild animal, and when he's brought back to the world of men, his madness breaks out anew, despairing of the stupidity of men who are unable to see their unconsciousness and inner conflict. So he remains in the forest. His sister builds him a house with 70 windows in the forest, where he can devote himself to his astronomical observations in the cold winters, exploring the stars and singing about future happenings. In Percival, the final part of de Boron's trilogy, it is Merlin who tries to lead Percival towards a new totality, and asserts that it is he who is the mysterious instigator of Percival's quest. Merlin is the mystery of the Grail. Eventually, he bids Percival farewell, because it is God's will that henceforth he shall appear no more before men. Merlin's seclusion portrays a mystery of the individual which cannot be realized collectively, but which, pointing the way and bringing illumination, comes from time to time to the assistance of other solitary individuals. With the final disappearance of Merlin, the Grail legend comes to an end. The Grail represents the fulfillment of the highest spiritual potentialities in human consciousness, which endows the world with a symbolic and spiritual meaning. This comes from nature itself. Spiritual life comes from living a natural life. The impulses of nature are what give authenticity to life, rather than a supernatural thing imposed on us. We must, then, not only strive upwards to the eternal and remain there, but bring back the divine into this temporal world, as above, so below, the kingdom of heaven is within. Sometimes, the simplest things in life are the most spiritual in nature. The loftiest ideas should not distract us from our daily concerns in life, but help us to enrich our relationship with ourselves, with others, and with the world. The Holy Grail, Merlin, the Philosopher's Stone, and Christ are all different expressions of the principle of individuation available within each person, which naturally strives towards the wholeness of the self, whereby the opposites are reconciled and united. It is good to win, it is also good to lose. It is good to be happy, it is also good to be unhappy. It is good to have, it is also good not to have. The inner war of opposites converts into the miracle of the paradox that sustains human life. It is the quest, rather than the Holy Grail, which brings the gift of ultimate enlightenment. In the end, what matters is the journey, not the end. Wherever we travel, whatever we do, and whichever age we live in, this is a journey open to us all, to quest for meaning in our lives.
Fucking Gorilla Gems, man. Heavy. Heavy. If you don't manage your inner space properly, right? If you don't have knowledge of self to manage yourself, you'll get caught up. That's the ego, the false self. The individual thinks there's going to be some mechanism in order to change the individual's life, and that's not how it works. Each being has to become the change in the eyes of whatever they see as the creator and the creative force by what we call God's law, right? There's legal and there's lawful. Legal is man's world, the laws of man's world, code, policy, and statute. Lawful is God's law. It's inherent in our beingness. It's in us. It's not on us. But we can't be taken up for people if they're not correct, just because there are people. Whatever that is, whatever that means, whether it's the family, the color, the gender, right? Right is right, wrong is wrong, where I come from. The law of this land is based in truth. Truth is a metaphysical concept. You can't hold it in your hand, therefore it's not physical. You're not going to pigeonhole me to your worldly, only physical reality where you can make the words and terms and attach conditions to it. They want to set me up to be a terrorist, but that's not my modality. I come at people on here in certain ways for a reason, because we need to get it together to present in front of these people and get them and us and everyone to see this is what an honorable man and woman looks and feels like, and this is what they do. If we don't do that right now, I don't think that there's any real hope for this civilization going forward, because that's the only thing that made it great. A non-physical beingness that inhabits a body and looks out. It's safe to say that you were existing on some level before you took on an individualized incarnation. All I need to know is I'm not this body, and you're not going to take ownership of this body by claiming this body is all that I am and calling it something else, which it's not. That's fraud. So it's a simple conceptualization to somebody who thinks with common sense in a simple way, separate from either the religious dogma or the worldly indoctrination. Again, this is thousands of years before the Christ of being. From the beginning of time, folks have been studying pure consciousness and awareness, how it relates to the bodily incarnation, and how to seat yourself where your power is, the non-physical, to generate a physical result. Doesn't mean we rebuke the physical by any means. We're just not seated there. My kingdom is not of the world. I'm in the world and not of it. I take on this body to work in the world, and then I leave. Greetings, folks. Back at it, back at the office. Indoor Command Center. We got Aaron here. Penal Power was in the back for the whole intro. As soon as we were ready to come on, he's just gone. See if Penal Power has anything. Aaron, what's going on with you, Aaron? All right. Can't hear you.
Your thoughts on Wizard still bitching, whining, complaining? I'm told, I didn't see it, but I'm told by other folks who did see his embarrassment. He's bitching, whining, complaining, talking shit about me, calling me a narcissist. Your thoughts on any of that? The guy who came here, pretended, pretty much lied in certain ways, even if it's by omission, just to benefit himself in various ways. And then when he was called to the carpet to explain himself or his philosophy, he acted out like a child, ran away, and has been talking shit about me everywhere since. So, am I the narcissist or is that you? Right. Funny how the folks who always call me a narcissist are always doing the most narcissistic behavior: manipulative, deceptive, disingenuous, codependent, needy, unwilling to go away, say away, or just shut up, right? Or just come up and be accountable, right? Like either go away, go off to your own life, do your own thing, and just shut up about it, or get the fuck up here like you were for a year and a half and be accountable. No, I'm the narcissist. Right. Thoughts, JJ, on any of this?
Fuck them.
All right. You're not upset at all that I timed you out in chat?
Oh, you did that.
Yeah, I did that.
Why'd that happen?
Well, I mean, I just like you were some idiot was down there trying to incite you, and then you fed into it, and I'm like, I don't need this in the chat. If JG wants to come up, he could just come up.
Nah, I just said if I got somebody blocked, you're a lame. That dude fed into what I said.
Yeah, you were doing a whole thing down there, calling people lame. Is that all you got? trying to start a metaversal fight in the chat box.
Nah, all I said was if I said if I got you blocked, you're a lame. That's all I said. And that guy Kevin felt tough and tried to come at me all weird.
All right, we're moving on. You don't seem upset, and that's a good thing. You're here anyway. Fuck the chat box. Who needs to be down there anyway? That's for lames. Chat box is for lames.
Yep.
Right.
Weird.
All right. We just move forward. I got a new Grim Hustle for you, JG. You always like Grim Hustle, huh?
Like hey, you know Hustle? That guy's an actor from Finland?
Here we go. Does it, first of all, okay, this is what I love. If somebody lives a life, right? Like, let's say you have no idea what my life consists of before I come here. I mean, I give you peeks behind the veil at times. If someone lives a certain life and then changes their life and then goes and becomes an actor, does that make any of their firsthand real world experience invalid? Like, we have no idea that guy wasn't affiliated with someone or something at some point and then just changed his route to make a living in a way that he could apply his experience and information and his presentment and not have to go to prison. I mean, does any of that make sense? Or are we just throwing the baby out with the bathwater right away?
Makes sense. All I said was he's an actor from Finland. It's not that deep.
I know, JJ. I'm not like, I'm just saying you know what you're doing there. You're gonna get a hornet's nest stirred up. Paulie's a Mason. He's working with actors from Finland. They're acting like they're honorable people. They're just fake. You know, why do you got to bring in the actor thing, man? He's a real man. He's a man, isn't he? He's a person. He has experience.
Just dropping knowledge.
All right. Whatever. Breaking news, Paul. Breaking news about what?
Man, they can't get you today. They just can't get me.
No, you're Teflon JG today. You're ducking and dodging. You're weaving. You're pretty boy JG. Like Floyd. You're just bobbing and weaving, ducking and dodging. We can't put gloves on you. Let me see here. Grim Hustle is cringe. I'm not interested in what you think, to be honest. Right? It's entertaining. It's interesting. There's usually a pretty decent visual, and there's usually some good information. Is it possible that's you? JG, you want to help him out there? Is it possible that he's cringe? Took Brian O'Shea's picture getting arrested with the hat flying off his head and made a name off of him and is now saying everyone else is cringe. Is it possible it's him?
No comment.
Do we know who this person is before they made that name? Because I'd love to know who you are. I guarantee this is someone who's been here for years at this point, but we're not going to
EBT.
find out. Yeah, they're not going to tell us who they actually are, right? They're going to hide behind this veil of O'Sheaisms. Whatever. We had a mild disagreement about a piece of wood, so I hit him with my skateboard. I don't know what that means. God, man. It's just another day at the asylum here, huh? Just incomplete sentences, non sequiturs, emotions flying.
Indirect.
Yeah. Passive aggressive shit in the chat box. What else is new, huh? All right, I'm going to the Grim Hustle. I don't give a fuck what the O'Shea impersonator has to say. 12 skills any man needs to master in 2024. If you have any disagreements about this presentment, feel free to come up and discuss it. Let me know what you think about it. Just sitting in a chat box, potentially trolling, as they say, doesn't help me. I got to see you and hear you, and then you got to tell me Grim Hustle's corny, bro. JJ, it's corny, bro. It's cringe. And I'll listen. I can't trust Skits O'Shea from a chat box.
So you want to become a man? If you are a man, or if you want to become one, you need to have a very particular set of skills. It does no matter if you live in peace or in war, if you are free or under tyranny. As a man, you always need to master the following 12 skills. Number 1, a good man needs to know how to sharpen a knife and start a fire. Number 2, a good man needs to know how to make good concrete. Number 3, a good man has to know and harvest 12 edible mushrooms and survive in the wild. Number 4, a good man needs to have the skills to buy and sell non-custodial assets like Bitcoin or rare metals. Number 5, a good man needs to know how to meditate every fucking day.
Внутренняя чистота, внутренняя сила.
Number 6, a good man needs to know how to deal with women in a constructive way. Without woman, no children. Without family, no future. Number 7, a good man needs to know how to defend and protect his family. With a good lawyer or a good aftermath, depending on the situation. There's a lot of Suki out there. Number 8, a good man needs to have the skills, the heart, and the soul to mentor a child and let it grow to be loving and suffering. Number 9, a good man needs to have the skills and the means to buy, rent out, and sell a house. Passive income is important to help those in your family or bratwa who cannot work anymore.
Друг за друга. По-другому никак.
Number 10, a good man needs to know how to build his own house of grit with his own hands. If time gets really green, my friend. Number 11, a good man needs to know how to give a speech at work, at family festivity, or at funeral. And finally, of course, number 12, a good man knows that death will come. He has the skills to forgive and ask for forgiveness before it is too late. And he has the skills to divide his heritage among the family in a fair way, in a way that money and materialism will not cause bad blood. A good man knows that the immaterial has more value than the material. When death greets you, all you have is who you have become, Grim. Be honorable.
Your thoughts, JG, not only on the clip, but on this guy saying he's not a big fan of this Russian dude telling him basic stuff he already knows?
A couple questions for you. Are you friends with this guy?
No, I'm not aware of this man in the physical realm. I'm just aware of the content.
Okay. I'll keep it a buck here. Yeah, that shit's hilarious. 12 edible mushrooms. It's comedy gold, man.
So you don't think that a man should know how to harvest wild or natural edibles?
I think to put that in there as like these 12 big steps, it's pretty funny. But yeah, he's got some good points in there.
Okay. I think it's pretty sound. I mean, not just specifically mushrooms, but it would probably benefit all of us to, know how to use our tools, sharpen a knife, be able to hunt and kill if necessary, defend ourselves, gather, know what we can eat and not. I think that applies to everybody. But, the man down there smoking the
12 edible mushrooms, 12, not 13.
Well, yeah, you got to have 12 edible mushrooms. It's like really negative around here lately. Folks are really negative.
Oh, I'm being negative?
I'm just saying, it's just a negative vibe around here.
Hey, man, it's comedy gold. You're laughing.
Guys trying to tell you how to be a better man, and this guy in the chat already knows it all, doesn't need it. You're making fun of him because he's saying you should know how to fucking find mushrooms and shit to eat.
Oh, you got a sense of humor. You got a sense of humor like me. You got a sense of humor. You know it's funny.
Scumbag, demented, defective fucking mental apes. That's what you guys are in the freedom movement. You're morons. Everywhere, you're morons.
Ooh, man. Dang. Guy had some good stuff, man.
All right, let's move on. We got police activity. It's that time of year. Folks are out and about. Policy enforcement's got their short sleeve costumes on. We're mixing in. We're having interaction. So it's big. It's huge. It's big. It's real. It's new. It's not new. It's been happening for a while, but you were expecting it. It's really what I'm saying. The opposite of it's new. It's not new. It's predictable. The weather's nice. So we're going to have tons of videos of slaves getting shot, statute and policy and code contracts being fulfilled, slavery and genocide, fascism pretty much ruling the day. You know the thing. It's part of the experience at this point. All right, so here we go. Why are you coming here to tell me about Nachiketa? Another one who I will suspect is a loser online. Pretends to be nice, kind, and polite, but it's just looking to grift, be seen and heard, be a broadcast host. Another person who hasn't been back here ever since they started their own broadcast. So, I'm that guy, right? I'm Mr. Negative. That's why my name is Mr. Wonderful. It's like a play on words there. And so why would you come here and tell me about Nachiketa's broadcast lately? I thought you were mates. Here we go again. This is all these middle-aged women who don't understand how life works. Right? There's no mates on here. Folks are not mates on here. We meet here and we discuss things. Over time, some of us develop bonds that go beyond the physical or even metaphysical metaverse. Okay? Do I have a care and a love as a human being for Nachiketa? Did I enjoy interacting with him as a being, face value? Yes. Do the majority of folks who I meet on here only hang around me so they can develop an audience to do their own thing and never come back? It would seem so, if they can get it done. Okay, so again, maybe I'm doing a Brian high impact from the other day. Paulie's a bit disappointed because it seems like folks just constantly are around me to talk about stuff and pretend to bond and act like they're really about something, only to just go off and try to get something started and then never come back. You know, it's very much my ex-girlfriend all over again. I don't like that term ex-girlfriend, but I use it colloquially. So you understand what I'm saying. Right? It's like, are you really here to interact with me? Do you really like have a care for me and respect me? Do you even have a care and respect the truth? Or is this just another opportunity? You got a lot of opportunists on here, is what I've learned. Right? So, you know, maybe he's sitting somewhere right now like Brian was, thinking great thoughts about me, loving me, respecting me. And here I am, bad mouthing again. I'm such a negative, angry, bitter, resentful, narcissistic, egotistical piece of trash. You know that. We know that. It's like, you know,
Okay,
folks
Paul.
are here. It's kind of like Pathetic Warrior and the rest of them. They're here every day. They're here for a year and a half. Then all of a sudden, one day they recognize an opportunity and we never hear from them again. And if we do hear from them again, it's usually something negative or subliminally discounting of me. You know, or they just completely act like I don't exist anymore. I don't know, but we're mates, right? Give me a break. We're grown people. There's certain physiological and metaphysical needs that have to be met here in this realm, it would seem. And guess what? Here's a clue for you, Miss Mona. Majority of folks are really just in this life for themselves. I'm not saying they shouldn't be. One of the things I say is selfishness is one of the cornerstones of selflessness, at least in the beginning. You got to focus on yourself, what you're doing and being and creating in order to be successful or prosperous or co-creative. So, you know, again, it's precisely the point is you folks come here and then I have to do this bit non-bit to reveal to you nobody's mates here. Stop expecting something to be on here that may never come. Right? The reality of it is most folks in life, and I'm not saying necessarily they shouldn't be, are selfish and about themselves, and they want certain things and need certain things and have certain desires, and pretty much all their interactions are based on them attaining and achieving that. Okay, whether it's subconscious or conscious. And then you have to look at the being and try to reverse engineer who and what they are and what it is that they want to achieve or experience, presuming they're not going to tell you, which it seems to me in life, most folks, even if they do tell you, they're not even completely in touch with what it is that they want or desire or what they're trying to achieve. So oftentimes, if they do know, they're not going to tell you completely and honestly. And oftentimes they may not know, so they can't tell you completely and honestly. But it's seemingly a lot of this stuff can be reverse engineered and a lot of the patterns can be cross-referenced. When you see dozens of people who come here, seemingly don't get what they want or things don't go as they expect, they hang around for a while, endear themselves to an audience, and then make people aware that they're doing something else and never come back. It's not really that hard to reverse engineer what's going on there. And again, I shouldn't have to reverse engineer because folks like Wizard and Pathetic Warrior and the rest who've been here for years, as soon as they don't get what they want or something goes awry, they should be able to sit here and explain to me and others what their fucking issue and problem is, like grown people, and potentially resolve it. But here's another clue about life. Most people are fake and cowardly. So they don't have the fucking balls or the heart to just stand up in front of everybody and say what they're really thinking and feeling at the time. That's why some people respect me, even if I'm being negative, because I'm just going to tell it. I'm going to put it on the table, let the chips fall where they may. We can always walk it back and talk it back unless there's some truth to me jumping out the window with shit I do oftentimes. So let's start to grow up. Let's start to mature a little bit. Let's start to realize how self and the world works. And let's stop with the gullible naivety. Okay? Or naivete, however you want to pronounce that word. I know that's a difficult word. Anything, JG, on this? Miss Mona thinks that folks who meet on panels online are mates, that they're just there because they're such great friends.
You're kind of on one, Paul. But yeah, I mean.
Well, no, I'm not applying that to like you and I. I actually kind of like you. I think you're funny at times. We have a good time. I'd probably hang with you away from the broadcast, you know? But the
what I'm
like
saying is
majority of folks. Go ahead.
You're kind of on a little bit, if you know what I mean.
Well, I got to be. I'm doing a broadcast. I got to bring something to compel an emotion. right? To create a conversation, to address whatever the current affairs and events are that seemingly don't change long term.
I'll say it. Yeah, mates is a weird term too. Call their friends mates. It's just weird.
Right. I mean, let's be like, okay, let's go a little deeper here. Do you think that I'm actually mates with anybody who are punk cowards who can't stand on anything and over the last 4 years would sell their grandmother down the river in order to continue to live? No, I can't be and I won't be. Okay?
That's called leveling
Nor
up.
should I be. Right. So even if folks are really nice, kind, and polite, even if they agree with everything I say, here's the trick. I'm not egotistical and narcissistic enough to pretend to be friends with people who I can tell are fake, duplicitous, cowardly, and wouldn't stand for a motherfucking thing if necessary. Why would I want or need those people in my life? What benefit do they bring? I can only see liability and detriment long term. So if you're wondering why, I'll answer it for you. The question I asked before that was rhetorical. Why most folks leave here, start their own broadcast, and don't come back? Because they become aware at some point they ain't got what it takes to fuck with me and to live how I live. See, if they were smart, they would have watched me for a while like Pathetic Warrior did for a year and a half and come to that conclusion on his own before having to have the interaction with me. It's clear and concise. It's obvious. You folks are not willing to do certain things here. You're only willing to rise to a certain level. You don't want anything else beyond that. And that makes it impossible for us to be equally yoked and to be mates. Okay? It's just loyalty. That's just honor. That's just brotherhood. That's just the code of men. You either get it or you don't. I'm not even mates with my own father as much as I'd like to be. Mates. I love this term. Like I mate with men. But I'll use your terminology. My own father's not a friend to himself and a friend to me the way he could be because he's not a friend of the truth. He's a coward. He always has been. The majority of my family has always been fucking cowards. So I'm not good friends with them and they're not good friends with me. And it doesn't even matter that we're blood related. Blood is not always thicker than water. Thoughts, JG? I see you're assuming the position there.
Man, you make it weird every time, man. My dad's a punk bitch too. Fuck him. I'll knock him the fuck out.
It's not about that. I don't need to have harm done to these people. I have no hate and bitterness or want violence from my father. I have a loving care for him, but it does not surpass the truth. It does not surpass.
I do.
Okay, well, again, I can't tell you how to live. I'm just, I speak about how I live for me. And it does not benefit me to walk around with hate and want violence on people, right? This is a simple idea. Like this is a fatherly state of consciousness that works as an aspect of me, as it is in all of us, to compel us to do and be and have better. And that's based on these self-evident truths, the same ones enumerated in the Constitution you folks keep whining about but don't understand and won't live. Wonder why you ain't got nothing. So I got a choice. I can rebuke that truth and the founding principles of humanity and the universe and this land. I can rebuke that to be in favor with you, or I can rebuke you to be in favor with that and who and what created it. So I'm sure you can see why I've chosen that path. It's almost a non-choice. I'm not rebuking the truth and the founding of the law of this land and what it's tied to, which is universal law and a creator, to be in favor with humans who don't want to live that truth. No, thank you. Don't want that karma. I wish it were different. I'll do everything in my power to make it different. I already have. But if that dynamic doesn't change from within, well, then we're not equally yoked. Go away from me. I never knew you. Very simple. I know that makes people feel stuff, but I'm not interested in what folks feel. Right? I'm interested in what the facts of the matter indicate and what needs to happen next, as others should be. Your feelings don't quite make as much of a difference as who and what you are, what you're not, and what you're going to do next versus what you're not going to do. Because we're going back, not back to, we're going deeper into fascism, slavery, and genocide. And I'm not going to sit here and emotionally invest in cowards who aren't going to take the next right steps. I'd rather let them go. I'd rather practice detachment and letting go Let's just be who you're meant to be. I'll be who I'm meant to be. And then we'll see where we all end up. There's no love lost. You folks just don't have true love and true care within you for yourselves, for what's true and what's right, this land, future generations, God. I could go on. So by virtue of that fact, I can never be yoked with you at this time. We're on a completely different plane of existence. May as well be. JG is frozen. Leg, can you hear me? Can you see me? Is that me? Is it him? Is it you? Don't assume, Paul. What am I assuming? Exactly. What am I assuming that I'm not speaking on direct, relevant experience firsthand over and over again with? What am I assuming? Because I'm not assuming folks can't change. If I was, I wouldn't be speaking on this. And I'm not assuming who and what folks are based on their behavior, because that's on record. There's no argument to be had. What am I assuming exactly? Help me out, Mrs. Stationary Pizza. Right. We'll move on. Aaron is having tech difficulties. That's apparent, right? Aaron is apparently, it's apparent Aaron is having technical difficulties. I feel like Slim Shady now. It's apparent that Aaron is having technical difficulties. He's Aaron. He's scaring the parents. All right. He's typing 5 times in the chat at once. All right, Aaron, get it together, bro. We're going to move on here. We got clips to get to. This is why I do a clip broadcast. This is what paneling is. If it's not 10 tars just screaming over each other, non sequitur nonsense, it's 1 or 2 people sitting next to me and have little to nothing to say and can't even work their equipment. Yep. I'm going to be working at the Goodwill soon. That's all I'm seeing. That's all I'm seeing for my future. I'm going to be Salvation Army Paulie. Yeah, I get $12 an hour for this. You guys want this armoire? You guys want this couch? We just cleaned it. No, you don't want it? All right, I don't give a fuck. I'm getting paid either way. People think they get to choose what color car they drive, but not choose own fate. Right. It's called symbols of value rather than actualized, realized true value. There used to be a store on America called True Value. It was named as such because America used to be great. What made it great was an understanding of God / God's truth / God's law. You don't observe that and embody that, well, then there is no true law and there is no true value. And that's why the degradation, disintegration, and disempowerment is taking place. That's why fascism is taking hold worldwide. Because you got a whole planet of godless, infidel, nihilist slaves who think their only purpose here is to just be fat, sassy, and happy. Fat, sassy, and happy at the mall. Right? Shuffling along, getting their next corn dog because it's springtime. Because spring is here. We got a bunch of barbecued meats hanging off the grill, sweating, just like grandma. Sweating from that diabetes. Sweating from the numbness and tingling. That's the average family affair. 3/4 of the family has some uncurable illness brought about by their complete dis-ease in life, just degraded diet, state of consciousness and awareness, and friend group, peer group, right? 3/4 of uncurable disease. And, 3/4 of them are going to go right to the doctor to get more fucking pills to make those dis-eases even worse. Claim it's getting better. Sorry, I'm venting. I'm ranting. I'm going back in time. We're going back in time. Imagine a world where 3/4 of your family at the table has incurable diseases that they take toxins in order to treat. Back in time. The slave light zone. JG, what are you doing? Where are you now? You're in a new location? It's quite nice there. Quite a nice
Oh, yeah. Raisin bagel and, some trees, some oxygen. Enjoying life.
What's going on, OTW?
I was just jamming on the guitar while I was listening to your broadcast. I was like secretly being silent in the background, just watching while I was practicing my guitar licks.
This is one of my counsel, OTW.
Yeah.
Great man.
Yeah.
Open panel again? Yes. It's empty panel again. Okay. Well, that's the thing, Cynthia. I've explained to you in Slow State many times. I'd rather be on panel by myself and be able to just fly free, experiment with bit on bits, keep the ball rolling. Because, see, unlike you, the pathetic loser failures who want a panel to lean on, to not have to do your own work and to develop your own online or offline character and presentment, that's not what I want. See, we want different things in life. Because at some point, I'm probably going to go do a stage show, quote unquote stage show, right? That's where this is all kind of leading to. I realized like way back, and then it's kind of reminded me, people have reminded me, experiences. So like part of my broadcast, despite being my livelihood at this point, is a constant practice to get really good at just speaking in front of people, keeping the clock moving, going to this, going to that, you know, being open to letting stuff come up in me and then work with it. Because at some point, this leads to more for me, less for you, more for me. See how that works? It's called winner, loser, right? So I'm preparing myself indirectly while I'm here to at some point be able to speak freely to a crowd and put together some kind of a performance or monologue, right? Maybe with historical references, a bit of entertainment, a bit of, you know, all the things. Right. So in your world where you're a loser and you don't work on yourself and grow and actually set a goal and hit it, you think it's bad that I don't have a bunch of folks I can lean on who say little to nothing. So then I accept less for myself. No. See, when I get the empty panel, although I get a bit nervous and just like you want something to lean on, that's when I go into a different mode. Oh, we're here for a reason. Oh, there's purpose and meaning. Oh, there's growth and goals. This is what I need right now. That's the difference between me and you loser failure. So I've told you over and over again, you can't insult me with the same things that bother you because the same things that bother you are where I'm made. That's what breaks you. That's what makes me. Everywhere in life, you can notice that. Right?
Yeah.
I am growing big time. Good luck with your stand-up. Well, of course you are. You're getting even more morbidly obese. I can see that. You are growing big time. You're growing so big time, you're not going to be able to get out of the house without taking a wall out or two. Okay?
Or a chairlift.
Right. Now, odds are, I knew from the beginning, because it looked like a fake picture, that that's an alternate of Cynthia. But of course, I'm going to dress it as if it's the real Cynthia. Why not? It's part of the game here. Right? Folks show up pretending to be someone else, and I just address them like they're that person. Kind of like a simulation therapy, kind of venting / bit performance. I enjoy that. So thank you, fake Cynthia, for allowing me that opportunity. You thoughts, OTW, before we move along?
Yeah, I think Cynthia is getting bigger by the second. You know,
right. See, Slow State and Cynthia and the rest don't realize when they keep trying to insult me with that line, because I haven't watched them in months at this point, but I get the words from other people. Oh, they're making fun of you because you can't get anyone on panel. Well, I could if I really wanted to, but I'm not that stressed about it, right? See, I interpret it as the way some folks have told me is this place is really intimidating. Something about me, my energy, my presentment, my conversation, my flow, my character is really intimidating. So that's a good thing. If I can't get people up here with me, it means they're fucking intimidated. They're too busy watching, waiting, loving, and hating. They're too busy being entertained and inspired. They don't want to come up and fuck that up. So in a way, you could argue that's a good thing, right? Because the majority of these loser failures who hang on your panels with nothing to say will go anywhere where they identify with someone like them. So it's a good thing they won't come around me. It means they don't identify with me. He's got a rap. He's got energy. He's got conversation. Don't get up there with him. He's going to yell at you because we're going to fuck it all up. They know their place. That's a good thing. That means they respect me. Potentially, it means they respect this broadcast and themselves because they stay the fuck away. We've seen how many tards come up here, embarrass themselves and me, and then force me to work harder and do a bit, which is my job. I love it. I love taking whatever comes forth and making something out of it. You know, alchemy in a sense. It's just what I do. So, yeah, no harm, no foul. Everything as it's meant to be at the time it's meant to be that. And a man should be able to take any set of conditions or standards and do something with it that benefits him and others. That's the testament to a real man and woman. You know, making something out of nothing. You see OTW, what they think is a detriment, it's actually a benefit. What they think is a benefit, it's actually a detriment. We live in two completely opposite worlds.
Yeah, I noticed. You know, and I also find that it's an opportunity for me to surpass myself when nobody clicks the link, right? Obviously,
right. They think that I'm here to like create a family I didn't have growing up, or to create a peer group and friend group that I don't have now in my life. I'm not. You know, not having a panel full of people does not indicate a loss to me in my life.
Exactly.
Not indicate a detriment to me in my life.
It's more of an opportunity.
Right. Yeah, I could argue if you host a panel and you have the same 10 loser failures with nothing to say and a broadcast going nowhere every day with no energy or inspiration or informative content, that's a detriment. Being surrounded by a bunch of folks who are literally holding you back, whether you know it or not. JG, any thoughts? JG looks so peaceful, so grounded and centered, so stoic and majestic. Look at him.
I'm feeling great, man. You know,
OTW News is a pathetic moron. Is that you? Hold on, JG, real quick. Is it possible that's you? Yeah, I'm going to time you out because you're another person who's been here a while and you never come on panels. You just yap shit from the chat box.
He says that about me everywhere he goes. It's just like it's his thing.
He's not respectable. He's another slave cop dweller. Comes here, pretends he's cool with me, talks shit at Slave Cop, and hangs out there watching. He's another ne'er-do-well. He's another broke, poor, I'd bet anything, weak, pathetic slave who has nowhere to be and no one to be with. So he finds himself on every fucking panel that exists in the chat box talking about whoever he's looking at on screen. Get a life, loser, failure. I'm becoming more and more how my father used to be with me growing up. You know, like I'm turning into my father in my old age. I'm going to be 35 in 3 days. I'm turning into my father. I never thought it would happen. Constantly on here saying you're a bunch of fucking weak loser failures. Get a fucking job, loser. Get some fucking pussy. You're pathetic, fat disgrace.
Yeah, we're having. I'm getting requests for you to drop the link, I guess, because I can't. It seems
oh my
like
God!
it's
I gotta stop you. I got to stop you because she's doing it again. Another one who's been here a year and a half. She comes to me in a chat box over a year ago, however long it's been now, 8 months. She goes, I got a new boyfriend. I take one look at the boyfriend. I go, this ain't going to end well. She goes, you're so judgy and mean. She turns around 6 months later and goes, everything you said was correct, Paul. I'm an idiot. And she's going to do it again to me. Every one of these broken, goofy bitches, rather than understand judgment and discernment, two similar things may be very different in a different venue, are valued and valuable. The thing you're telling me you want me to stop that you don't like is the thing that gives me power and value and inspiration. The thing you don't have, because you couldn't look at that bozo you got with and tell he was completely fucked up and twisted, probably a lot like you. And instead of you writing yourself to call in something different, you're going to come online and tell me I'm judgy. No, you lack discernment. Stop making this a negative quality of mine that I have what you don't and aren't willing to get. You should only hope to be as judgy as me. So the next bozo you meet, you can look him up and down and know it's going nowhere before you give your pussy to him again. You should only hope to be as judgy as I am. Maybe you'll be able to navigate this reality in a bit of a different way and start to see things and people for who and what they are.
Right, because they pretty much reveal themselves within a 5-minute conversation, actually.
Right. I'm tired of you folks who grew up with a mama or somebody who either traumatized you or loved you a little too much in the sense of codependent and devouring. I don't mean actual love. Right? Tired of these folks. They think every little thought and feeling and want and desire they have has some value and importance. It doesn't. And you show in your life that your feelings are regularly deceptive. Your wants, your desires, and feelings are regularly deceptive. No matter how many times you show that to yourself in your life, you still continue to trust it. And then when I'm telling you what's actually happening that I have in the past that you've denied and then had to cop to, you can't accept that I have discernment and you don't. You want to keep calling it being judgy because I can see what is and then describe it. And then later down the line, it all comes true for you and others. It was already true for me. It had to come true for you because you couldn't see it for what it was before it smacked you in the face. That's how we all learn. That's how every grown man and woman starts to learn and cultivate discernment. It's by fucking themselves over and over again with their foolishness.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it. Is it the crew? The strike crew? Oh, yeah. It's the strike crews in the house.
Yeah.
Reality is hard to face sometimes. There you go. So instead of coming here and calling me judgy, just put that all back on you. You point the finger and there's 3 back at you. You need more of that. Don't call me judgy. Call it what it is. You're hypersensitive and overly emotional, and reality in life on life's terms is hard for you to face. Right. So that's the dynamic. Stop twisting it into me being a toxic, masculine, bad daddy. No, I'm a daddy, and I'm a good daddy. Best daddy online 2023 voted. Taking credit for them. Taking claim to them.
Daddy.
I'm daddy. I'm a daddy, and I'm a good daddy, and you're a bunch of broken children who don't have discernment. And when I give you the truth, it's hard to face. Hard to face. Like it matters what you think or feel about the truth and whether it's hard to face or not. Why is it hard to face? Because you have less control when you accept life on life's terms rather than create a reality that doesn't exist? Yeah. Get out of your pride and ego. You're not in control completely. You're only in control of you and what you do and don't do. So the faster you stop wanting and desiring and trying to take control over things you can't, the quicker you'll get back to serenity and discernment by understanding what is. It's not hard to face. That's a choice. This is what we've lost in our interactions, is the recognition that everything's a choice. It's a choice for you to view reality as hard to face. I would never write a program for myself in my head that what is hard to face. What is what is. There's no feeling attached to it. Why would I choose that? I would rather go the other way. Reality is easy to face because despite whether I get what I want or not, I'm getting what I need. So through this process and this procedure we call life, I'm being formed and fashioned for what I'm meant to be. That's not hard to face. That's my destiny.
Right.
You get it? You got to learn to love your fate. The way you do that is learning to love yourself. Because you don't love yourself and love your fate, you keep calling in a bunch of other slaves who are one and the same. And then you want to tell me I'm judgy because I can see him for who and what you are while you just have codependent feelers about him.
You know, it's funny because, it's not that hard, to understand what the fuck all of this is about. I mean, it's just like it's about not getting in your feelers about nonsense, right? That's pretty much
about not getting in your feelers about the truth. People don't get in their feelers about nonsense. They get in their feelers about the truth that they don't want to face and change.
Kind of like
True that.
TML
I
and
stand
Tommy
corrected.
having to sit back because they're on strike time now, Daddy. So you don't have to listen to TML or Tommy for a minute because they're on strike
I don't
time.
listen to them anyway. I check in with those folks from
Yeah.
time to time. I try to offer them a good word or reconciliation opportunity with me because they seem to have some thoughts and feelings about me. TML is not even in the conversation over the past months.
Right.
Other than the video of him fighting with a sweatshirt, I don't know what he does, what he's saying, and quite frankly, he hasn't talked anything negative about me that I know of.
He slaps his bitch around. That's enough.
Well, listen, that's a whole other discussion, man. I don't know nothing
Right.
about that
Well,
firsthand.
you know what? He can't
It wouldn't
discuss.
surprise
He's
me.
striked right now. He has no channel to talk on. He's striked. He'll deal with it just like Tommy.
Listen, at the end of the day, these folks take nothing away from me in my life, so it's not a detriment for them to be broadcasting even while I'm broadcasting. They told me Wizard went live today the same time I go live. Didn't affect me at all. He's a non-issue. He's irrelevant. He's sitting somewhere cycling, spinning, thinking about me and hate and not being accountable. It affects him negatively not being here. right?
Well,
It affects him negatively, talking negative about me. It doesn't affect me, obviously.
Wizards used your channel to.
They all
build
use
his
my channel
record.
to get what they want. They all do it.
Not all. I never did. I was before.
But when
you
I
even,
say all, okay, you're right. When I say all, I'm being
most of these guys.
I'm
like
overly
Wizard
generalizing.
And yes,
Yeah, the
I've used your
majority of
channel
folks
to
who
sell
come
my
here-
board game.
The
I've
majority
used
of
your
folks,
channel.
see, JG's just retarded, and he just wants somewhere to kind of hang out in between whatever he's doing. Right? He has no hopes of making a channel, it seems, or being famous. Like, that's just not in his. Like, he could do that other ways probably if he wanted to. Doesn't seem that's what he really wants.
Now you're coming at me now. Look at you, like
Well, I kind of am, kind of not. I kind of complimented
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of just, yeah.
disrespectful. Now you're trying.
Yeah,
Oh
well,
yeah, kind of,
Yeah, that's what I do.
I'm already
Whatever.
famous.
We'll get over it. That's you, Piggy. Okay, you're gone. Because you're, like I said before, you're a coward. You won't come up. You won't share whatever it is your issues are. And you constantly have something to say in chat boxes. So you're gone for good. Go ask your friends to come to me and ask if I can unban you at some point. I timed
you
you
gotta
out.
realize
you didn't learn,
that-
and I banned you.
I don't start shit, right? I really don't start shit. I was trying to say something funny to kind of break the ice, and you just
What
kind
happened
of
to
get carried
Jeffrey
away.
and Allie
sometimes.
from back in the day, JG? They're asking a question. This is someone from the old channel, must be. That whole drama was good entertainment. Well, there's been many more since then, right? It's not drama or good entertainment. It's reality. Reality, apparently, is good drama and good entertainment. So what happened? Well, they ran. They hid. They haven't been back since. They've popped up certain places. Jeffrey has. We haven't seen or heard hide nor hair of Allie because I suspect that she's thoroughly embarrassed, as is he. And again, in their cowardice and embarrassment, now they go off and they find another hole to present in and try to establish themselves with some false presentment and character. We see it for what it was. We know what that was. It's complete dysfunction, complete abuse, dysfunction, brokenness, codependency, and addiction. Go ahead, sir.
You owe me an apology.
I don't owe you anything, but if you want an apology, I'll ask you for one. Is there space for Talcott Energy today? Jack, let's not do this every fucking day, okay? It's open panel. If everyone else is invited here, you are as well. There's no favorites. There's no special conditions or rules. Okay? This is open season. Why would there not be space for Jack Talcott Energy? I mean, come on. You know, what did
You're
fat,
truly on
obese,
some bag of
disgusting,
shit today.
grotesque... JG, please. What did fat, grotesque, which is kind of... Oh, I'm saying some of the same things. I said fat, obese. It's kind of the same thing. Similar, not necessarily the same. Fat, obese, grotesque, boring Cynthia say. That half my channel at this point is Jack Talcott, but I'm not going to have him on panel. Give me a break. It's an open door fucking policy here. How are you, Mr. Talcott?
I'm feeling blessed, man. I really am. Had a
Hey,
lot
What do
of
you got for
looking
us?
at your channel next too, buddy. You feel
All right,
blessed
please
when you
back
get
off.
strike.
Back off, creature. I don't want to have to throw you out again today. I don't like throwing you out, but sometimes it's necessary. Well, look at this. What a surprise. Brian O'Shea. I texted Brian O'Shea a couple days ago. He never got back to me. A lot of folks don't like to get back to me when I text them. Other folks, when I don't text them, say, why don't you text me? It's some bizarre game I'm involved with everybody. You know? The folks you take interest in, who you kind of like and see potential in, they avoid you because they
Paul,
got
hey.
some fucking trip going on, right?
Look,
And then the ones who
Brian,
you don't see barely any potential in, who've already shown you they're a fucking waste, are like, why won't you text me? I go, what am I in? What am I involved in here? You want to talk about having to surrender in faith? This realm will do it to you.
Hey, look, Brian and Jack have the same forehead, except Brian's more colorful and Jack looks like a pale fucking death.
Well, it's Jack Talcott is the future of Brian O'Shea. He's the post-mortem version of Brian O'Shea. Like, if Brian O'Shea doesn't get his fucking act together, he's going to be Jack Talcott very shortly.
Get it together, Brian, please.
After Brian's ego dies, he'll be me.
Jack,
Yeah, I don't
you're
know
the
if
only
that's-
one with
I don't
the
know if
ego
that's
that's
suggestible.
delusional and keep it up.
Well,
gonna
I'm not
strike
sure
the
because I
channel.
mean Brian's already homeless and Jack is on his way out, so maybe it's vice versa, right?
But that's the thing. His ego has to die to get back in the home. Like, you can say Jack Talcott's homeless, but he's not. There's clearly a home behind him, unless that's a stage set out on the street. Did you
He
have
just
a-
kept the fireplace.
Yeah, imagine he's like, He's broadcasting from the library, but he's made up a fireplace set to go behind him so that we never kind of lose the attention. Jack, I want to get directly to you. Fuck these other people up here because they're way less important than you. We know that. Let's just be real about it. I'm tired of beating around the bush. What do you got going on? They tell me you had, please, creature, you're on thin ice. What they tell me you had a meeting today for the house?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Can we get a report on how that went? What's going on?
They kicked the can. They
Another 30 days.
No, 2 more weeks. But you know, it was easy peasy. The representative of the Northwest Justice Project. I found it interesting because I went to observe and to see what happened. And I'd had a conversation with her briefly yesterday. I've signed nothing. And per an agreement between her and the plaintiff's attorney and the judge, they agreed there's 2 more weeks. I said, great. So I came back home. And
you have no shame, do you, Jack?
Regarding what? I'm not guilty.
You're not really supposed to be there, and you're not even really looking for a new place, and you're being as lazy as you can until last minute. Like most people would have found a place, got their shit packed up, said fuck it. You have no shame in your game. You're a bum.
I am different than many. Hey,
you're delusional.
Can I bring the topic back to snafu though regarding Pogo? Because what would a Pogo do? What would a Pogo do? It would run around trying to enforce the rules of someone else. That's exactly what you're doing, snafu. You're running around trying to enforce the rules of someone else.
You better be following guidelines and policies with Venus Cupcake and Flow State and all your little pedo Pogo pals on your channel. Jack, you talk to Tommy and TML? Both of them are on strike time, Jack. You think we're joking? Keep laughing. Wait till you have to come here and say my channel's struck because of snafu and the crew.
That would lack logic. I don't understand the logic behind that.
To shut a delusional, crazy bastard of a lazy fucktard cupcake up for a minute? Make you learn a lesson?
Interesting. Hey, actually, so I don't leave it hanging. I mean, I still don't know what the future of the shelter is going to be. I'm still hopeful to have a conversation with the parties involved in the contract, but they keep avoiding me. And along those lines,
squatting in their house.
Along those lines, I followed up with an email to the my old national officers of the union. So things are coming around. Things are going to change.
Can you go more in detail and tell us how you are technically on the terrorist watch list for post office? Well, you're not allowed at post offices. Can you please
not accurate?
No, tell us more about the optics of why you are actually banned and kind of we're not terrorist watch list, but kind of like you know exactly what I'm talking about. Explain
get past your fucking conclusions.
Oh, you throw your hands in the air, but you're not telling them the truth about how you've been persecuted by the postal services where they said, we don't want you around us because you're a danger.
That's their allegations without facts or evidence.
By the United States Postal Service made these allegations, right?
Well, individuals employed by the organization chose to get up in their egoic feelers and not pay attention to the facts. They focused on rules and imagined punishments and enforcement. And it's been a fucking hilarious and very, very enlightening process. Except it's funny, not funny.
So I want to address this. Snafu, please. Snafu, please. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes, okay? Take a breath. So these folks, like the broken folks out there who can't, like, they can't accept truth without having a feeling behind it. Like, nobody's getting direct joy in Jack Talcott potentially not having a home. The joy we're finding is in the cosmic mystery. that we all are our own worst enemies until we choose our own suffering enough to do something different. We are choosing to find the joy in the mystical, miraculous kind of ignorance of creation. Jack Talcott's story is seemingly no different than mine or anyone else's. We are our own worst enemy because we have beliefs we hold on to, and over time, through our experiences, we're forced to let go of these beliefs to accept a higher and more important truth that benefits us and the collective. That's what I'll speak for I, believe is going on here.
Hey,
yeah, but you've never said that you were like like the two witnesses.
Let him finish. I don't need you to respond for him. It's going to make him, whether I agree with him running or not, you know the pattern. He's going to leave if he's not able to respond. And on some level, I can understand why, because it's ridiculous. So let him fucking respond if I'm going to speak about him and his life, please.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Jack.
I do appreciate that. Hey, the other part to that is you're absolutely right. I have been an example of self-destruction, and that's been clear. But the other part of that is we flip it around. We become our own savior, which I have and am doing, regardless of the opinions and the attacks of these false witnesses like Snafu. I'm actually doing pretty good.
Not allowed to post offices because you're a terrorist, basically. They said, right? False claim.
Right. We're not gonna like do the expounded narrative. Okay. Like we don't believe. You don't really believe that Jack Talcott's a terrorist.
I know he threatened in postal service people. I looked into it, and he is not allowed at certain places. He is
the only people who are terrorized by Jack Talcott is Jack Talcott. Ultimately,
have you seen him get angry?
I don't think anyone's in fear of Jack Talcott blowing up some institution or whatever the case may be. So let's just get away from that nonsense.
But it's not nonsense. Have you not witnessed how angry he gets online on camera?
I get that, but you have no evidence or proof beyond what you've seen on here that he's up to anything.
People have made claims and
dude, you're talking over me and you're pushing a narrative that doesn't need to be pushed. There's more on the ground, real world problems and solutions we can address than continuing this kind of, fanfare. Oh, Jack Talcott's like, we did the bit. It's funny, but we're okay. I'm not doing it right now. Are you listening? I'm not doing it right now. I have different modes as well. I'm in the mode right now of talking to him as a man and potentially trying to see what his perspective is and maybe give him a good word or just surrender in faith. I'm not interested in doing the bit non-bit, the post office, the pen. They're breaking through his window. He's a terrorist. Let it alone. Okay.
Can I point out? Thank you, Paul. And what Snafu is demonstrating, he's going based on opinions.
Whoa. Go on something else. Quit saying my name, or else I'm going to get back in this conversation.
No, you're not, because I'm going to throw you out.
That's fine. I'll strike the fuck out of everyone.
If you want to strike me, I'll be back up and running in 30 minutes like I was last time. So you're going to waste your time and you're going to put yourself in ill repute with this audience and potentially with the force of creation. So just control yourself. Don't try to control me.
Right. I'm telling to tell Jack, say what he has to say, but keep my mouth.
He can respond to you and about you however he pleases. And you're not now going to be you're not going to cuddle up to me to bolster your campaign to you striking to get what you want everywhere you go. It's not going to happen.
Delusional, blasphemous fuck talk about snaps. Go ahead, Jack.
Why not? If you can talk about everyone else and you're given time, then it's only equitable to let.
Jack, tell us your delusional, blasphemous shit.
If you cut him off again, I'm throwing you out.
I won't say. I will seek to avoid addressing that topic. Okay. Holy cows, praise be. This okay. Should I address the postal thing or move on? Where do you
whatever you want to address, Jack? Whatever you feel is relevant to be addressed.
Yeah. I just know that we don't have to fight as much. There are greater enemies in this world. It's not the people on these panels. I know that. Well, you are an enemy to yourself and my
Kinda like your
And that's the
pedophile
dynamic. And that's the dynamic. As soon as we say there's greater enemies in this world, everyone just forgot again. Most people are their own worst enemies in their life, right? Snafu is running around with rage constantly. He's constantly in an angry state, and he's constantly in and out of the hospital because he's toxifying his body politic. You can argue the masters are furthering that and expediting that with whatever they're putting in the water and the air and the food, but no one's forcing you to choose your own destruction while claiming they're destroying you.
And Snafu showed us that example when he spoke up. It's amazing how this life works. It's revealing itself for us to understand,
Showed an
to
example of what, Jack?
what Paul was saying, the patterns.
What did Paul say? I'm asking you. What did
Oh
I
my
show an
God.
example of?
You know, he'll come back.
Is this real?
See, he doesn't
I
even know what the
think so.
fuck he's saying. He just says it to fucking
You
go
get
with the
to
flow.
receive what you receive. I know what I'm offering.
Paul says he says a lot of things, and my mind follows along. And yes, I get what he's saying, but sometimes it takes my mind a minute to process and what he's saying. And, you know, I interrupted the thought by offering an opinion. This life we're living, guys. Oh, offering the the
Okay, so I got to
pattern-
address this, Jack, real quick. And
Yeah.
just feel free, please, to separate my clinical sort of analysis or my attempt at clinical analysis from a personal attack on you. Because I'm not, my goal is to not attack you or demean you or mischaracterize you or have you feel whatever, right? If that's a consequence of what I perceive as the truth, I'm willing to accept that, but that's not my goal.
I know.
Right. So you're saying, Robin, UPS targeted Jack for thinking outside the box and advocating for workers' individual rights. There may be some truth to that. I'm not going to go ahead and discount that because I wasn't there. But again, there are certain patterns Jack is experiencing with folks in his life, and they're not limited to the UPS. Right. So we have to step back and look at what are the same patterns of disagreeability that we keep experiencing with everyone while claiming it's everyone else, right? We have to, at some point, to make it better, consider we have some role to play in these disagreements. They're not completely imagined by the other party, right? So there's probably something we're doing, being, saying, or not that is compelling others to see us a certain way and form an opinion about us, right? So I again, I'm not contending these corporate structures don't shy away from folks who want to think outside the box and advocate for natural rights. It's the reason I do a broadcast and don't work at the post office, among other reasons. But there's probably more to the story. Go ahead, Jack.
I would say it's not so much USPS, it's the attorneys. See, those who were convinced to obey and punish, and they were real fearful, the attorneys, they actually don't like the idea of mindfulness and new ideas. So it was the attorneys who got the law enforcement in, and the law enforcement actually intimidated the managers, you know, because they don't deal with the office, the OIG, and they don't deal with the postal inspectors. So they got scared and moved all their fear onto me. That included my union reps who didn't have.
Okay, let me ask you this. Is it possible there were ever heated discussions where you were impassioned but received potentially in a different way than how you were presenting? Kind of like me. They'll say, I'm terrorizing, I'm so threatening, I'm this, that, and the third, because at times I'm passionate about truth and certain subjects, and it comes off as violent or combative. Is it possible that you had a few of these interactions where you may have said some things that sounded to them, we're doing the sounded like, it sounded to them like you wanted to overthrow the US government and what they consider to be the rule of law, and you wanted to rewrite the rules in your own image? To them, they're going to vote for Hitler like Donald Trump and Joe Biden. But when Jack comes along and does the same rap from his own perspective, it's criminal almost, right? You see the hypocrisy there? So I'm saying, like, there's a good chance that's probably what happened. How would I know? Because I look into me.
Yes, some of that is true, right? I got the reputation of being always angry, right? Because
How
But
ironic.
this isn't just from co-work, right? This is with family essence and
Well,
things
but
to
this
that
is
nature,
the
right?
please, Snafu. I'm perfectly capable of taking this interaction all the way through. Thank you for your enthusiasm. I appreciate it. This is very ironic though, because we're noticing, Jack, you give me that rap all the time, and others, that they're constantly angry and bitter and attacking. So they literally did the "that's you" on you while you do it on me. Do you see the mirror here of the holographic simulation?
That's how I learned how this works. And that's how I know to see the anger that's behind what people are doing. And it really was here. I've accepted this has been my role. I screamed at some people, man. And I didn't threaten anyone though. I didn't threaten anyone. I harmed no one. I yelled at people and swore, because
words hurt, Jack. You know that on your panel that words hurt. Your audience will back that up, right? See the game we're playing now?
Hey, I felt that. In the past, I used to let words control me. I was an emotional wreck and I didn't realize it. My emotions depended on the words from other people.
Yeah, but the reality in the middle is, while you may have had a quote unquote better way of expressing, there's not necessarily anything wrong with being impassioned and being frustrated with slavery and genocide proliferating all around you, along with fascism, because one goes with the other, right? So they're like these inauthentic corporate males. And again, everyone has that streak in them, it seems, who's been in this world, will appeal to the tonality and how they feel about the words rather than what are we saying here and why are we saying it? Look around. What's happening? So you start to feel alienated because they're like, ooh, yeah, slavery, genocide, fascism, maybe a problem, maybe not. But your tone and what you just said, they're really an issue for us. And then that's when you want to throw your hands up in the air and cut your own head off, right? Or someone else's, depending on how you're oriented. I was always the harm myself guy before harm others. I've learned that, let me go on heroin. Let me become morbidly obese, just eating the pain away. Let me sit in a hole completely alienated from everyone and have no social interaction. I was always the one to take it out on myself and hurt myself while they were gaslighting me.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a common theme, right? It's a common theme we see in these venues and in these interactions and becoming a true self.
Paul, yes. You and I are living the stories. And you and I have been learning how to point this out, how to see it, how to observe it. And what I think I've been learning, Paul, especially over this past year or so, I've been learning how to more gently communicate. And that's why I'm actually getting excited, because I know things are getting close. I'm growing, I'm getting better. And I think miracles, sincerely, I do believe miracles are in our future. Because look, my life, here's where I'm at. It's going to take a miracle for me to change things around. It will take a miracle. And so I can be afraid. I can be stressed out and, out there sleeping in the street right now. Or I can trust and figure out what's going to happen as it happens. And that's what I'm doing.
I mean, the reality of it is, Jack, you've seen the experiences with myself, Brian O'Shea, and others. It's far from the end of the world because you don't have certain housing accommodations, right? What we find out, what we learn is, like, the things we fear the most are actually where a lot of the growth occurs, it seems. So when you actually go out into a tent or you actually live like out in the forest, I'm not talking about living on a fucking sidewalk of, Seattle, but, you find yourself a national forest, someplace that you can camp and be left alone. You find yourself more peaceful, more fulfilled. You find yourself more actualized than realized because you learn to do without and learn to find, fulfillment, actualization, realization, inspiration, empowerment, co-creation in the moment with just self and whatever's available. So this is kind of the give everything up to be given everything back part of this journey, it seems, right? I know that was the case for me. Is, you know, I had some unfounded fear of you know, that they put on me, that if I live in a tent and I don't have certain accommodations, I'm less than a man. Turns out, in order for me to grow and learn and reprioritize, I had to give all that shit up. I had to learn faith and letting it go. I had to make a willful choice. Nobody took it from me. I left it, right? Because I recognized that there was an alternate world here most are living in that is not as true as this other world, so to speak, right? And the more that you give up the ways of the world and the benefits and privileges of the world, the more you get back seemingly your own vision of self and where you're going to go in this life. So I don't, again, that's where I find the joy in your story. I don't want to see you harmed or do without if it's going to cause you suffering. But within that process, you're going to be relieved of your suffering. So it's kind of paradoxical, right? I find the joy in knowing or believing, I guess, wanting to believe that by the end of this, you're going to know yourself and life more, and you're going to have more out of this life, even if you have less monetarily or physically.
Yeah, that's true faith.
I've already risen. I've already lost. I've already sacrificed, and I'm aligned. And this is the thing. I am perfectly aligned for great success. Why? Because that's what I live for. The great success is end of wars and world reform. That's the star I'm shooting for. And why not? I've already lost family, friends, reputation, life savings, career, home. It's all gone. So why not? So what I'm doing is really 7 days a week. I'm inviting people to join along. I invited the attorney who kicked the can for me 2 weeks. And if she talks to me again, we'll see what she's willing to do. I emailed the national officers who, by position in Washington, D.C., can open doors of communication to legislators and people in the White House. So I'm not joking around on this stuff. I believe we are. We're part of something pretty amazing. I'll go.
So just real quick, I'm going to comment on, well, not comment, I'm going to show this. All panel and chat should do a drug session. Here we go. We can all choose whichever substance we most prefer. Probably be a fantastic show. I did that already. I named it Talstock. Me and Jack Talcott took a bunch of reefer oils and edibles. But yeah, I'm not really like, you know, I get it. There's a big market for that. I could probably blow up numbers if I just like put up a weed sign in the back and put on the glasses and become Mr. Drug Guy 420, you know, dress up in a rainbow Snuggie like Peanut Power and Christos. I don't want to be drug guy at this point. I got a drug history, right? It's unsavory. I'm not down on it. It's what I needed, apparently. One of the many experiences I needed to come to a different position in life. So I'm not like regretful of it, but I'm not going to be drug guy. Hey, let's all sit around here and take drugs. That's slow state, sir, ma'am. There's a broadcast down the hall to the left. That's slow state and folks like that, where they have nothing else to offer. So they go, let's sit around, take drugs, and do an awesome, non-awesome broadcast of pathetic embarrassment. I'm really not into it. You know, the best I can do drugs on JG, please. You're not helping. Best I can do, Pawn Star style, is we take some reefer here from time to time, kick
Fuck
back
you.
a little bit. Okay, JG's like, you know, he started off strong and he's having some kind of personality disorder come up. It's erupting. He might have to go. I have to see his way out.
Yeah, we already played Eruption, JG. That was on OTWs earlier. You should have been there.
This isn't about you. It's about Jack Talcott and myself. Get a clue. Okay.
I'm just trying to get a word in without you getting all fucking nutty.
Yeah, you get a word in when I stop speaking, not in the middle of what I'm saying.
You never
Sorry
stop
for talking while you were. That's the thing. You know how many times I've gotten that rap? This is a Paul Unslaved broadcast. When you come here, the prerequisite is Paul doesn't stop talking. That's what makes it a Paul Unslaved broadcast. It's not a Paul Unslaved JG broadcast where Paul Unslaved has to stop talking so JG can mutter stuff into a 99-cent store microphone. You get it? trying to help out here. I know you're trying to help me. I'm trying to help you. We're helping each other here. I feel. I want to believe.
Is that right? Shut the door.
Now, what did the person say? I can't even. He's still doing it. I can't find where the person is. It's Sterling Ray, I believe. She says I believe it's a she. She says, where will you be going in the 2 weeks when you're out of there? They're really interested in this saga and they want to know what's going on.
I don't know. I plan on succeeding, so I don't know where I'll be when I succeed either. So I'm not fucking worried about change. That's the thing. I'm not worried about change. I'm excited for change. So one way or the other, things are going to change, but I'm going to take me with me.
He lives without fear.
You did just hit Sterling Ray with the fake yawn, the classic Talcott fake yawn, just to kind of indicate you're bored with this line of questioning. I like that. I'm a fan of the fake yawn. Like, I'm a fan of Talcott's accentuated kind of act out expressions because it gives you something to read. Most people, you got to kind of work to read him, but he makes it known like what's going on with him. He's like, yeah, I'm kind of bored with this. Fake yawn. Can we move on with a different line of questioning? Like, ask me about how great I am and amazing and Christed. Don't ask me about where I'm going to be in 2 weeks because I'm not planning on losing and failing like the rest of you. Go ahead, Jack Talcott.
See, this is why I was never very good at lying. I just didn't realize it. Holy cows, man.
Hey, you're contrived. That's part of your personality.
In some way, we are all invented. We invent ourselves. We invent the world. We are the inventors. I guess.
All right, I'm doing.
Yeah, you could argue the same is true about me. There's a fine line between me being real and authentic and also a bit put on or contrived for effect. All of life is a performance, you could argue, in a sense.
It's a part that we develop and we learn how to play it as we grow. But the idea is to become comfortable in the part that you're playing. Because the world doesn't want us to feel comfortable. It wants us to be anxious and afraid. Because if we're anxious and afraid, then we don't think as clearly. And then we consume shit that we shouldn't consume. And we workers produce things they shouldn't produce, like lies and all sorts of atrocious things.
I want to hear from Brian O'Shea quickly. Brian O'Shea, you have any comments, questions for Mr. Talcott or any of your own events coming up lately?
Nah. I just found myself in a fucked up situation out here in this small town, not working and fucking having car issues. So I'm just kind of bumming myself out about that, but whatever. There's some drunk in town who needs to be driven around, made some money doing that, but I don't know, man. I'm just fucking falling apart in this little town a little bit, being lazy, but gotta get it together.
Yeah, I mean, like, don't all get shocked at once, but like, did you ever think of attempting to get a part-time regular kind of situation? I'm not even going to get into full-time because I know how I am and pretty much everyone who's attracted here. Like, God forbid you mention full-time work. Which, again, at one point I was seemingly forced to do, and I also found the value in doing it. It's like the more you do it and you get up every day and you produce and you're just okay coming home and being you, not having some grandiose vision of having to like save the world or be famous or whatever the case may be, like there's some value in that, right? So, I'm not going full-time job because I know you do the comedy. I know you have other kind of dreams and passions, but maybe, 4 hours here and there, 4 or 5 days a week, just so you can cover your basic needs. And then you got the rest of your day and the rest of the week, 2-3 days a week. You develop a habit.
Yeah, when you put it like that, it makes sense. It's just, I don't know. I get in these little moods, like, because this town's like a lot of old people. It's slow. And I'm like, fuck, they're not going to pay anything good.
Right. But that's the point. That's the trick. What you just described is getting over yourself. This is what this whole broadcast has become about. The recognition that we are our own best ally or worst enemy. So when you say, I get in these moods, you should cut it right there. There is no, I get in these moods, so I don't do what I need to do to have what I need to have. That's not how a man talks. I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm telling you what I had to tell myself in order to get up and get out and do what needed to be done. If I just got in a mood and didn't do what needed to be done, you wouldn't know of me. Right. So I get it, but I don't get it, if that makes sense. Right. And I'm just kind of being a dick about it. Like, I totally get it, but it's going to take you going, in order for me to be a man, then my day is not dependent upon my mood that I get in. I know that I need to do X, Y, Z. So I'm going to continue with X, Y, Z. My mood is not going to define that purpose and that goal hitting. Right. You got to practice that muscle of setting a goal, hitting it, and not letting the mood alter you from hitting that goal. That's what holds us back all of our life. Is our mood dictates how we're going to perform and what we're going to create or not and what we're going to do or not. And that's a shitty quality to have. And I would know because I've had it most of my life until I put that shit aside and said, I just need to do what's true and what's right and the next right move. My feelings don't need to come into it because they're going to undo me.
Yeah, it's like you brought up before, like, oh, you might be better off if you were locked up. And I think like that too. And it's like, you can't have the feeling of like, oh, I'm an institutionalized bitch, or I'm a bitch that I can't fucking pull together or like have goals unless like I was locked up or something. But if I adopted that mentality, like, all right, if I was locked up, I would have certain things I'd want to do every day, right? Like, it's like Wes Watson kind of fucking philosophy. So it's just like,
right.
If I could kick ass if I was locked up, supposedly, I think I could. Then if I can't do it if I'm not locked up, then I probably.
But that's
can't.
The point is, folks like you and I have to live in the free world as if we're in jail. You got to wake up every day and almost be your own jailer and go, I can't sit around and waste away. I can't be focused on what these jerk offs are doing. I got XYZ for my morning situation somewhat that I got to hit. I at least got to produce some value or co-create somewhere with my art or whatever my busyness is. And then whenever the necessities are at least done, then you can surrender the rest and have the rest of your day to yourself. So I had to teach myself that at a certain point. You live the same way you would in there out here. You're doing time. You're in this body. You have a certain fate or destiny that you're going to co-create. Certain learning and growth through the practice of life along the way, but certain day-to-day things got to be done in order for us to kind of manifest that. So it's the same thing as saying, hey, oh, okay, I'm in a mood. I don't want to do this today. Okay, but you got to do something. You got to produce value for what the fuck you need and have. So you better be begging then. You know, you got to be motivated and ambitious to do something and be something. I don't even care if it's I'm going to go around town and read scripture to people and ask them to give me $1 or $2. By the end of the day, you gave them a good word and your fucking pocket is full of something for what you need. It's not even about the money. It's about the process. The same way I told that kid to go get a Spider-Man outfit. There's nothing stopping you from going to the store, spending $30, putting a goofy costume on and brightening people's day and developing a rap, adding to your comedy routine. You know, trying new shit out on the street where there's no consequence. Who gives a fuck? Right? You starts to become a thing you work, a process you work like a muscle, where you get to a point, you look back, you can't even imagine you with that person who don't get up and get something in for the day, right? Just like a person who works out. They can't imagine once they start working out and keep going, they can't imagine waking up and not getting a workout in. You're getting one in the morning, one in the evening. They can't stop. You got to develop that. You got to work that. And it comes, for me, as far as I know, by staying habitual. The habits today lead to success tomorrow. You got to live every day, one day at a time and say, I'm getting one in today. I'm getting one in today, whether it's getting on stage, right? They're going to give you a few dollars, whatever the case may be, putting on a costume, doing some bits in the middle of town, going to the store, buying a bunch of food, whipping it up, selling it for double the fucking price. Right? You got to mind your own business. You got to create something. You got to serve something. If not, idle hands are the devil's workshop. We know that.
Right.
It ain't about the money, bro. It's about the process. Go ahead.
It's like having a long-term goal, and to achieve that goal is every day, however small the investment that you make towards that goal will always profit you in the end, will have worldwide success. because it's a long game. You know, it's like it's a long time investment, but at the end, you'll be proud of what you've accomplished because of all of the things that you've invested. And eventually those little small things that you've invested will become fucking really big, and it'll get bigger and bigger. And it's
the key is you can't give yourself an out. That's how you retrain yourself. You watch me do it with this broadcast. I set an intention and I stuck to it, regardless of what I thought, how I felt, where else I thought I'd rather be. I show up every fucking day. Because I've trained myself to show up every day for myself and others, there's days where I may not want to. There's days where my body tells me I need a rest. I shouldn't be on there yapping, right? I still show up and do what I do because I've now trained myself to the point where I can't imagine not being here. Can't imagine what else the fuck I would do. It's only 3 hours I got to commit to. I don't care if it's 7 days a week. I've done it for so often and so long. I've retrained myself to where I can't imagine doing anything different, at least for those 3 hours a day. So that happens with everything, man. It's just the way that it's a product of our beingness. You know, we adapt, and the best way to adapt is do the same thing over and over, just like they've adapted to slavery and mind and heart control by doing the same fucking thing over and over, year in and year out. So once you give yourself no outs and once you retrain your brain, you wake up one day and look back, and now you can't imagine being that other person who's going to bum around and sit around. And if you're going to do that, you at least got to get one in somewhere, you know. You at least got to do the minimums, you know, the necessities. It is what it is, you know.
Brian, if you're hurt for cash, right? Check out Home Depot in the mornings to try to find work. That could open up a whole big world, man.
Yeah, it's
you know,
like
he's actually JG's right on that. I've done that before. I've hung out in you know, wood shops and shit like that, and clients would just walk in and say, "Hey, I'm looking for a roofer, a guy that could do a fence, or a guy who can fit, you know, put up some drywall."
Yeah, Brian, real shit, man. You'll meet the right people. You'll get experience. You might say fuck comedy, and you might just get into, you know, concrete. You might fall in love with framing houses.
Yeah, it's like
that was kind of gay, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I heard you. Yeah, there's a fucking drunk guy. I gave him a ride, fucking to this other town to handle some business. But you know, it's not. It's like making money like that, like being around drunks who just want to fucking do the drunk party and fucking lifestyle. Like I don't need to like hustle up money that way. And even if the money I'm making out here is not as much as I want or used to, like in a bigger city, like Paul's saying, it's the process. It's like same thing with like getting on stage, like doing open mics, whatever. Like it doesn't always have to be about the laughs. I mean, it's cool if it is, but if you got a different process, if you're trying to work something out, and if these other things, like if I happen to get laughs and it works out that way, but if that's not what I have to be so focused on, like even with the work, like so focused on the money, like getting a routine, habits, interacting with people.
Right. That's the thing. It's about staying active and getting in your groove and finding a momentum in life and riding that momentum. Momentum to me, I found is important in life. You got to be a self-starter and you got to gain some momentum in life, and you got to kind of ride that a little bit and ride that flow, go with that flow. But you got to be the source of that flow, right? When you don't have a flow and you don't have momentum, you get stagnant. So that's why I'm saying, bro, it ain't about the money. I don't come here majority of the time. If I'm coming here, it's not for the money. It's for me to put in my work, for me to put my time in, for me to get more screen time and be able to speak in front of an audience and flow with it. Whatever shows up is meant to show up. What doesn't is not meant to. I'm not here for that. It's the same way attitude we got to take to life, because oftentimes we're not going to get what the fuck we want. As long as we get what we need, we're better off. So if comedy is going to be your thing, or performance and audience, right, orating, well, then you got to get one in every day. I don't care if you go stand up on the boardwalk and get up on a milk crate, start talking. You got to exercise that fucking muscle. You got to pursue your passion and follow your bliss, so to speak. You got to create a momentum that you can ride in your life day to day. It's the same thing I'll tell Penile Power. We're all here for the same reasons, because we all struggle with the same challenges in life. And contrary to popular belief, I don't think there's more than one solution to all this. That might be my arrogance and egotistical sort of nature, as I've been accused of. But it's one truth, one life, one way, right? Then we have to decide who's got that, or who's tuned into that, or who's speaking it in a way that resonates with us that we can put into practice. right? And it's not about the who, it's about the how, right? So for me, that's how it works. Whatever it is you're oriented toward, you got to get up and you got to live it and breathe it. You got to do it day in and day out until the value shows up. That's how you validate self and that proof of concept. Ask any motherfucker who's successful in anything. Ask a comedian, a movie star, a baseball player. They had to put thousands of hours in when nobody was watching them and didn't give a fuck about them. And they had to do it so often and for so long that it became second nature. By the time the value showed up in the form of money, they didn't even feel it because they already validated themselves, putting the time in, putting the work in, not fucking missing, getting one in every day. I don't care what venue you go to with success, a guru, a life coach, whatever the fuck it is. We got to get one in every day. We got to do our practice every day. Practice leads to perfection. We got to put ourselves out there and take risks pretty much every day. There's no days off in this game of life.
Cue the Joe
That's how
Cool
I
remix.
found momentum. Go ahead.
Cue the Joe Cool remix.
We'll cue the Joe Cool remix. Die Without Fear.
I do this every day.
Oh.
Come on, man. You know the
Right.
thing.
Petition makes the master.
Pioneer's, he's a little quick now, you know. He's like,
You know the thing, man.
don't
He's in
give
his own
Pioneer
world
the
of-
odd.
He's in his own world of Unslavia lore. Every reference is Unslavia lore. He's become full of Lumitranny. Go ahead, Jack.
Don't give Pioneer the soundboard, man.
Hey, everything you said, absolutely. The feeling of fulfillment by having discipline and self-discipline and the memory of taking actions towards the opportunities we want, those are all important. And the universe, from experience and what I've seen, the universe rewards effort. It rewards actions. So there's value to a lot of that. The other part, though, what I'm planning on talking about on my own stream is the distinction between doing and being. Doing and being. And then maybe there's the becoming aspect as well. But
Right, but they're interrelated, right? You strive to take your beingness to whatever you're doing and make whatever you're doing better because of your beingness.
yes.
So they're interrelated, right? That's the Tao is doing, non-doing. It doesn't mean that things get done by doing nothing. It means that whatever we do, we become part of it. We're not in our own way. We're one with the task. We're one with the environment. We're one with the co-creation. We're in harmony. We're in flow. Right.
Right. That's the point. But we've got many people doing these positions of police or judge or attorney. They're doing those things and they think that's what they are. They don't know the difference. They don't see what they are being, right? They're being a part of the oppression of the communities and not realizing it. They're just playing their part. But
Well, one kind of follows the other, right? If they're in disconnection to the creative force and to the beingness that is readily available for us, if they're not aware of that, then they're fallen in a sense. So they're only doing what they know how to do, which is being less for themselves and others. So yeah, it's interrelated. You have to be more for yourself and others to do more for yourself and others. If you're accepting less in your beingness, well, then you're going to do less. And less looks like tyranny and treason and division and all the rest of the disempowerment modality. Darkness, you could say.
Can I share this thought, man?
Absolutely.
The fallen world. The fallen world is evidenced by how low our damn standards have dropped. Look at Joe Biden. Look at Donald Trump. The standards are freaking gone, dude. It's time for a wake up.
Everything's turned down.
What's that?
Everything's got watered down. The substance of people is going down.
Right, but that's the point
You
of
see it
this
in music, you
broadcast.
can see it in politics, people, personality, everything.
That's the point of this broadcast and my supposed harsh presentment is to raise the standard again. Remember, there was two, I'll give you the other company that was well known. There was True Value and there was American Standard, right? So we start to see even in our business branding this overlay of the archetypal, right? So you have to have an American standard to be great. That's the standard of God and truth above our thoughts and feelings and beliefs. in order to have true value. Well, we're lacking in true value because we've dropped our American standard. We're a godless people at this point, and we're lacking in truth, living life on life's terms. We're living life on central bankers' terms. We're living life on Joe Biden's terms, right? This is why we are where we are, because we've accepted less as individuals and our beingness, and we've done even less. And if you think voting for someone who's accepted less in their beingness and is going to do even less and profit more is complete foolishness, folly, and mischievousness. But again, what would you expect from a human race who lacks consciousness and awareness of self first and foremost, let alone the creational law and force? We're right where we need to be, people. We're going to get the greatest show on earth and the greatest lesson of our time, as we've gotten from the beginning of time, it seems. Whatever time is.
Who knows? It's amazing. And it is amazing that humanity is not like totally self-destructed. I mean, my own life too.
It's getting there. Give it time.
No,
That's
dude,
what I've
I'm
learned.
telling you, I am the phoenix. I'm about to rise. The ashes are around me. It appears things are not always as they seem. That's what I've learned to trust. Things are not always as they seem, and there's usually, if not always, another way to see things. That's what I've tricked myself to accept. So then I don't know. But hey, I took us way off there, but I should probably bounce out and go get ready to do my stuff. Paul.
All right, Mr. Talcott.
Thank you, and blessings to all of Unslavia.
You as
Jack,
well,
I
sir.
wanted to ask you about Alan. Man.
You know, you're such a douche. Every fucking day you do the same bullshit from top to bottom. Your grandmother even said to you, "What are you doing today, Penal? I'm ready to die. Would you get a job, do something before I leave here? Make me fucking proud in some way." Every fucking day you literally do the same shit. You live the same day over and over again like I do, but from the negative inverse perspective. You do the same bullshit, stupid, wrong things every day and act like it's going to change. It's fascinating. Every day you have someone on here you want to talk to and ask questions, and you never get around to like speaking up. And then right as they're about to leave and click the button, you go, "Hey, when are you going to change that?" You realize you have the power to change that, right? You can get involved in this conversation. I'm not stopping you. You don't have to wait till the end. You know, you don't have to like do that and then go, "Oh." Just come on, man. Activate. Take charge over yourself and your life and the conversation, your beingness. Really put your heart and soul into it.
All right, so how about this? When you see change in me, I want you to sing change on my stream. Can we have a deal there?
Again, the presumption is I don't see. God help me. The presumption is I don't see changes in folks, regardless of how slow that takes to happen and how little it is. It's still there. Right? It happens. There's little changes at times. There's breakthrough events. There's regressions, of course, as well. But it's just not about that. It's like the recognition of the theme. It's not about me like validating you or invalidating you. It's recognitions of the same themes going on in your life that you experience regularly, and then making an obvious choice to do something different. You know what the themes are? Fear, insecurity, disempowerment, lack of a voice. When you do speak up to use your voice, you want to lukewarm, half-ass it, be cute instead of being real. You know what I'm talking about?
Bit on bit blurring, you know, have that discernment of knowing when, you know, it's fitting and appropriate. Just practicing that discernment.
Can you do the stop falling asleep on streams pineal thing so it can be clipped here for me? So it can be clipped.
We'll make it a clip. It'll be like one of the clips that gets thrown up at some point, but it has to be authentic. You can't just tell me to say it.
Right. All right, let's go to Mitchell because I never got to the docket. That's a good sign. That means we carried over a non-versation for almost 3 hours, and I never really got bored. I never really felt like it was lacking. So that's a good sign. Right? Panel or no panel, nonsense or not, we're here now. We're in the now, man. So
yeah.
Mitchell had an interaction with police again. I haven't seen it. Like most things here, we're going to watch it together. If you get bored, let me know in chat. Let me know on panel. Just kind of holler out. No, Pineal, don't use that as an excuse to mumble over the clip and say things that can't be understood. Like if you're going to do it, really holler out, say, hey, pause the clip. I need a comment. I need a comment on the insanity and ridiculousness. Okay, let's get to it. Let me know in chat if you're bored by it, if you want to move on. That's the time. Now's the time to use chat. Officer Doofy on the scene. Filming the police, we're auditing. I think he's auditing. Mitchell, the auditor. Tis the season to audit. I'm the only one at this point not recording police scene.
What are you doing, Paul?
Castro's out recording, Mitchell, all of them. Joe Cool.
Brian O'Shea.
Yeah. I'm taking DeFreak's advice. I'm just voting for Donnie and doing my broadcast. I don't want to go to jail again. I'm just going to hang out, let you guys do it for a while. You guys have some experience. Get some experience. Have some fun.
Yeah. Paulie's, he's done his part, right?
I've done my time. All right. I've made my bones.
He's made his contribution. Now it's your turn.
Come on, Mitchell. Just pipe up here. Let's go. Get arrested. You know what this game's about. Antagonizing the police, getting arrested.
Yeah, that's fine. If he's not going to talk to me and give me that, then yeah, if you want to get that info for me, then I'll just give that out.
'Tis the season to
So
be
like I was telling them,
Mitchell.
it's not a crime to record people. You're being recorded as well by my body cam. But they just don't want you on their private property because since it is private, yeah, this is public, yes. But up there on theirs,
Understood. I know how trespass works.
Yeah.
No worries.
yeah, that's the only thing. So
Cool. Thanks for being reasonable.
Yep.
But you are entering yourself into, I wish to keep my private information private. So you guys are entering into a contract here, just so you know.
So what was going on between you and the workers?
Nothing. I was just minding my own business. One of the inmates was mugging me. So I just started recording, and the officer came up and said that I'm not allowed to record. I told him he had no authority over me. And so I told him I'm not one of his slaves, and, that I'm minding my own business. And then, so he said he would get me removed from the property. That's when he went and got that operations manager, and that's why they're having me trespass. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess their issue with that is just because like these guys, he said they have like protection orders and other things.
Yeah, that's not my problem, man. Yeah. Hey. Them having protection orders or whatever doesn't limit my rights to record. So,
And I'm not saying you can't record. I'm just
yeah.
with this whole thing with private property and stuff. I mean, he has the authority to say you can't be on here.
Yeah, I know how private property works. It is a public accommodation, so they do open themselves up to discrimination. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. It's not your problem. It's a civil matter.
And that's going to be between you and them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not your problem. No, I appreciate you for being fair and reasonable and not letting them overstep their authority and push me around. They were hoping you would be a dick to me, and I'm as reasonable as anyone's willing to be with me. So
I appreciate it.
no, I
mean,
do
like,
too.
There are people that we come across, and
I just wish to remain, in the private. So, you guys are going to create a public record, and then you presuming the name and stuff like that, it really just opens yourself up to more liability because you guys are going to end up creating an inaccurate record, I'm sure, to some degree.
well, again, like everything is recorded, so they compare the record to what's on body cam.
Right, but you asked for the birth date, right? So I don't have a license, all right? I don't have a Colorado license. I'm not a Colorado citizen. I'm not, under the authority of the state of Colorado, right? As long as I'm not breaking the law, causing any damage to property or any harm to anyone,
Yeah.
I'm good to go. You guys have no authority over me. So really, it's just you're entering yourself into trust contracts, and so You know, as long as you're doing what's beneficial for the benefactor, we should have no problems. As the trustee, you have a liability, you have an obligation to uphold, you know, your responsibilities and obligations. So, you know, I am a protected class. So, you know, I am who you guys are actually sworn to protect. So not.
We don't discriminate on
Yeah.
any of that. So
I think it's great that Mitchell's like come here for years at this point, mocked everything that I've said and done, and then turned around and used it all for his own benefit and to limit the liability of these interactions. It's like, that's when I'm a proud daddy, right? Like when I have a son online, he mocks me, he chases me, he insults me, he constantly screams at me and has issues. But then when it's time to put the information into place, he uses everything I've said and done here, which proves I'm a good daddy. You don't have to like me to respect me, or more importantly, respect the truth and use the truth to benefit yourself and your fellow man. So that's good to see. That the moments like this warm my heart. This makes me feel like a proud, accomplished daddy online. This is why I get the rap of daddy online that I do. It's perfectly appropriate. I don't see how it's not. The protected class. You know how many times he mocked me for that protected privileged class line? Oh, I'm a protected class. There he goes using it. Right? So, hey, chip off the old block, Mitch.
That's true.
That's you.
That's you.
Stop falling asleep on streams,
Yeah, I see that.
Pino.
Thank you.
all right, just give me 1 second.
They're gonna go run it for warrants. So I'm not gonna accept any paperwork, so verbal's good enough for me.
Well, you don't have to take it. I just have to still do like a written one.
Okay.
Anyway, so you don't have to sign it.
I won't even be accepting it. So, like I said, verbal's good enough for me. I know how trespass works.
But they also just get a written copy as well for their records.
Right on.
Whether you want to take your copy or not, that's fine.
No worries.
No penalty for that. But they just want one for
Their records, I get it.
Mitchell's a good kid. I want to believe he's a good kid. He's got good intentions, good heart. He's just a little confused sometimes.
1, 6, 2, 2, 16, 22. That'll give me his name. Can I get his name? Will you give me his name? Thanks. I got to refresh real quick because my phone keeps going to sleep. Hold on. Last name. What's his last name?
Greeley, like the town.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, so if you want that, you
No,
can have it.
you trash it for me, please.
Stand out here.
I don't answer questions.
Are you good if my partner just goes and checks on your dog real quick to make
The
sure?
dog's fine. The windows are down. She's in the shade. She's got water.
Gotta check
That's
on
just
that
another concern
dog.
these guys had too.
No, they're not concerned. That's another
Public safety. Got to check on that
thing
animal.
he was trying to leverage to trouble. It's not a concern of theirs. They're not concerned about life or health or happiness or anything like that. They're concerned about pushing their weight around. They're going to realize who's got the authority in the matter.
Well, just so you know, the trespass is good for a year. So a year from today, just
Yeah, I heard it. I know how it works.
when you know.
Yeah, thanks.
So Scott's saying animal control comes?
Should get on your way.
Got animal control. On to the scene. Uh-oh. Gotta check on that dog. Gotta keep that dog safe.
So you got my name. I'm Paul Robertus. I just wanted to, sounds like you have a husky. Does that sound right? So they were just kind of concerned.
All right, we got a Spencer Phillips in the back. I'm gonna screen him real quick. Make sure that he's legit. Spencer Phillips, how are you, sir? Great stuff. I had a feeling it was going to be that, but you didn't get me. All right. Showed a dick and balls, but you didn't porn bomb me because I put the wall up, because I had a feeling when I saw the kid's picture in the back that it was going to be a diversion. It's a fake video of someone in the back. So you didn't get me. All right. That was a good try, though. The demons are out. They're upset. Paulie Boy can do a good broadcast. He doesn't need them. They're not the source of his content. So they're going to come in alts and use fake videos to try to put dick and balls up and get this broadcast taken down. But it's not going to happen. Not now. Not today. It's a good try, though. Maybe get a life, get a job, get something to do with your time. I can only imagine who it was.
Sounds like you got some dog food, so I just wanted to make sure the dog had food, water, and shelter, and that the
Food,
dog
water, shelter.
was
The
okay.
dog is unsafe.
You gonna buy us a hotel?
Pardon me?
You gonna buy us a hotel?
I'm just checking on the dog. What's the dog's name?
Oh, none of your business.
Okay. So as animal control, it is my duty just to make sure when somebody has a concern for the well-being of an animal that I just make sure that the dog has food, water, and shelter. And that's all I'm doing today. And then I'll be on my way.
Yep.
Okay.
Suggest you get on your way.
So again, just checking on the husky. If the husky's looking to be good, I like to know the dog's name because as animal control, it's always good to know who I'm speaking with, whether it be human or animal. But if you're not willing to give that, I just
Wait
check
a
on the
second.
dog
Animal
and,
control has the ability to speak dog. They can speak to a dog and be understood and communicate. Mitchell might want to inquire more about this. That might be good content. I need to know who I'm speaking to. What's the dog's name? Roger? Okay, I'm going to talk directly to it now.
make sure that it has everything it needs. Okay.
You stay away from my dog.
Touching the dog, just
Just taking a walk. So, okay. And you're being recorded as well. So we'll both record, okay? So is there a reason why you're out here recording and not with your dog right now?
This is the walk of shame.
This is not the walk of shame. This is the walk to his car where they try to get him on charges.
Oh, okay. No, well, the walk of shame is coming after. Okay, yeah, I remember this part. I seen this.
How could you see this, OTW? It just happened.
Carmen for your dog?
No, this didn't just happen. I actually seen this
What's your
earlier
dog's
today.
name? What kind of dog is it? Oh, very cute. Hi, sweetie. Looks like a terrier type, yeah? Super cute, though. What are you doing?
Yeah, she's gonna ask him
Yeah.
if he has
I
water
know. Scary
for the
person. I'm
dog
just
and
checking
food.
on ya. How long have you had your dog?
Stop talking to me. Don't wish to contract with you. You need to stop harassing my dog.
I'm checking on the
You
dog.
need to stop harassing my
I'm
dog.
checking on your dog.
You're causing alarm, which is the definition of harassment. You need to stop harassing my dog.
That's not harassment.
That is harassment. We'll find out. You're not the arbiter of truth, are you?
It's all going in the report.
Okay, but that doesn't make you the arbiter of truth, does it?
Sweetheart.
Hey, bud.
Yeah, you
Leave.
Until I check on the welfare, make sure you have food, water, and shelter. I will
See, told you.
Okay. You have water in the car for the dog?
She will protect us.
You have water?
She will protect us. She will protect us. Yes. Water and food.
Water and food. On my way. She looks to be healthy.
Things
Here's
dropping
the
out of
fresh
the
water.
truck.
Yeah. Yeah, her food, she already had breakfast. Here, yeah. I know. Yes, I do mind. I wish you would leave us alone. So I don't need your opinion. I don't need your opinion. I don't need your opinion. I'm not subject. They can call all they want. I'm not subject to you. You need to leave. 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 You said you would leave. You need to leave. You need to leave. You need to leave. You said you would leave. Leave. Leave now. Leave now. Leave now. Leave now. Leave now. Leave now. Leave now.
More people will
Leave now.
So he'll be probably contacted. Thank you for showing me the
Leave.
This is the walk of shame. We should have the walk of shame music playing right now.
I don't mind if you record
Shut the
me,
fuck
but
up, bitch. Don't talk to me. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Don't talk to me. Shut the fuck up, bitch.
just move away.
Shut the fuck up, bitch. Still see them over there. You see a little puppy in the shop there? I don't know if you can see it. There's a little puppy right there. Well, it wasn't a puppy by any means. It was a big ass labradoodle. Cute little fucker. Big fucker.
All right, I'm gonna leave it right there. You guys got anything before we move on? We're gonna wrap up soon.
There's nothing much after that anyway. He just walks around and
I gotta thank Aaron
sightseeing.
S. For his contribution. No message, but thank you, Aaron. I appreciate you, sir. You got anything, Brian O'Shea, Christos, OTW?
Yeah, I got a song. I can play a song. I got that. It's up to you. I mean,
No, I'd rather not have a musical segment right now.
oh, okay. Well, I didn't have much else for you.
Brian O'Shea, you got anything?
I got this thing I've been listening to over and over, just reading, like something I could read, but I don't. It's kind of a long.
Yeah, go
reading.
ahead and read it, and then I'll give OTW because I think he's wanting to like show off a little bit. So I'll give him an opportunity. He can play his music after you're done, whatever you're reading. We'll close out that one.
All right, we could take this reading in chunks, so we could always get back to it later. We'll see how far I get today. But this is from the book of the Revelation of Hermes, interpreted by Paracelsus, concerning the supreme secret of the world. The supreme secret of the world. Hermes, Plato, Aristotle, and other philosophers flourishing at different times who have introduced the arts and more especially have explored the secrets of inferior creation. All these have eagerly sought a means whereby man's body might be preserved from decay and become endued with immortality. To them it was answered that there is nothing which might deliver the mortal body from death, but that there is one thing which may postpone decay, renew youth, and prolong short human life. For death was laid as a punishment upon our first parents, Adam and Eve, and will never depart from all their descendants. Therefore, the above philosophers and many others have sought this one thing with great labor, and have found that which preserves the human body from corruption and prolongs life, conducts itself with respect to other elements, as it were like the heavens, from which they understood the heavens are a substance above the four elements. Just as the heavens with respect to the other elements are held to be the fifth substance, for they are indestructible, stable, and suffer no foreign admixture, so also this one thing compared to the forces of our body is an indestructible essence, drying up all the superfluities of our body, and has been philosophically called by the above mentioned name. It is neither hot nor dry like fire, nor cold and moist like water, nor warm and moist like air, nor dry and cold like earth, but is a skillful, perfect equation of all the elements, a right commingling of natural forces, a most particular union of spiritual virtues, and indissoluble uniting of body and soul. It is the purest and noblest substance of an indestructible body, which cannot be destroyed nor harmed by the elements, and is produced by art. With this, Aristotle prepared an apple prolonging life by its scent. When he, 15 days before his death, could neither eat nor drink on account of old age. This spiritual essence, or one thing, was revealed from above to Adam and was greatly desired by the holy fathers. This also Hermes and Aristotle called the truth without lies, the most sure of all things certain, the secret of all secrets. It is the last and highest thing to be sought under the heavens. A wondrous closing and finish of philosophical work by which are discovered the dews of heaven and the fastness of earth. What the mouth of man cannot utter is all found in this spirit. As Moriana says, he who has this has all things and wants no other aid, for in it are all temporal happiness, bodily health, and earthly fortune. It is the spirit of the fifth substance, a fount of all joys beneath the rays of the moon, the supporter of heaven and earth, the mover of sea and wind, the outpourer of rain, upholding the strength of all things, an excellent spirit above heavenly and other spirits, giving health, joy, peace, love, driving away hatred and sorrow, bringing in joy, expelling all evil, quickly healing all diseases, destroying poverty and misery, leading to all good things, preventing all evil words and thoughts, giving man his heart's desire, bringing to the pious earthly honor and long life, but to the wicked who misuse it, eternal punishment. All right, I'll stop there, and maybe I could pick it up in a, yeah. This is the spirit of truth.
That is you.
Just one touch, that's all it takes. You become part of the Matrix, Jack. That's it, it's over.
Have you ever had a dream that you were so sure was real? What if you were unable to wake from that dream? How would you know the difference between the dream world and the real world?
Hey, boss, still nothing. It's cold. Why is it so cold?
Tank, we're going to need a signal soon.
Status of relation.
APOC, location. Targeting almost there. Got it.
Holy.
Jack Talcott, do you want to know what it is?
I most certainly do.
The Matrix is everywhere.
Holy cows.
It is all around us. Even now, in this very room.
Holy cows.
You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television.
Holy cows, man.
You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
Do you have a point?
That you are a slave.
Bullshit.
Born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch.
It's nonsense. I don't mean to swear.
A prison for your mind.
You're such a liar, dude.
Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself.
Let's see it.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Allegedly. Allegedly. You claim that. I have seen no evidence.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Fuck it. Down the hatch.
Follow me.
Oh, wow. Hey, praise God.
You wanted to know what the Matrix is?
I've escaped the Matrix, I assure you.
Trinity.
Huh? I think the last guy may have thrown up on your fancy chair. Oh, God. It stinks.
Try to relax. This will feel a little weird.
Fuck you!
This is the construct.
What the?
It's our loading program.
Whatever you want to call it, it's self-defeating.
We can load anything from clothing.
Okay.
To equipment.
All right.
Weapons. Training simulations. Anything we need.
Choose what you want from that which is real. If you're wanting things that, it's not realistic, it's not within your reach, it's not available, then you're wasting your time creating your own suffering, wanting for things you can't have. Want that which is real. But many people, they create what is real in their mind based off what they want. But what is real? Is this real? This can't be real.
Is it really so hard to believe?
What is the point of that question? Where are you going with this?
Your clothes are different. The plugs in your arms and head are gone. Your hair has changed. Your appearance now is what we call residual self-image. It is the mental projection of your digital self.
You're not, see, this is the thing. You're not seeing beyond what you want. This is what I talked about earlier. We should be taking what is real and figure out what we want.
What is real? How do you define real?
As long as you know love is real, you have the answer. When you know that the only thing that is real is God, well, then that means that God is everything you know and everything you don't know.
If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
Dude, I'm a figment of God's imagination, nothing more.
This is the world that you know.
In your world includes you and everything you know. You better believe the world includes you.
The world as it was at the end of the 20th century. It exists now only as part of a neural interactive simulation that we call the Matrix.
What the heck is going on?
You've been living in a dream world.
Sorry to interrupt, but I'm wondering, does that apply to you? Are you trapped in what you think the world is?
This is the world as it exists today.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
We have only bits and pieces of information, but what we know for certain is that at some point in the early 21st century, all of mankind was looking for an artificially intelligent guru, a daddy.
I don't believe that is an accurate representation. To me, the AI aspect of it is very small. It's a tool. The whole idea is to use technology and mechanization to improve the world. Right now, there's a lot of jobs that are going to be replaced, and this always comes up. What do you do with these people whose jobs are replaced by mechanization and AI? Well, one of the ideas has been that we just harvest their bodies for energy.
And in exchange for human life, we marveled in our own magnificence as we gave birth to AI.
If it is somewhat of an AI-led socialist idea, where the purpose of the economic structure is actually to ensure the best distribution of goods and services and energy throughout the population, if in fact that is accurately defined, is that bad? Because I'm not proposing that people give away their rights to machines.
A singular consciousness that spawned an entire race of machines.
Technology is used for data. The people make the choices. But the distinction is, it's not just these asshat authorities. It's actually going to be oversight.
We don't even know whose oversight brought us here, us or them. But we know that it was us who scorched the sky.
You see, Jack, thanks to your dumbass energy policies, the machines were dependent on solar power, and it was believed that they would be unable to survive without an energy source as abundant as the sun.
I was stretching and feeling the sunshine on my body again today. Oh, that feeling. The feeling of the warmthness of the sun, knowing that my body and my skin is actually receiving nourishment. That there's a connection between me and the sun and that fresh, clean winter air. It's February. It's really March here. Lost track.
Throughout human history, we have been dependent on machines to survive. Fate, it seems, is not without a sense of irony. The human body generates more bioelectricity than a 120-volt battery and over 25,000 BTUs of body heat.
It's fascinating.
Combined with a form of Talcottian fusion, the machines had found all the energy they'd ever need.
We're so divinely created. How we are generated, it's magical. It is divine creation.
There are fields, Jack, endless fields, where human beings are no longer born. We are grown.
I mean, so what? I mean, if your intention is to make for a better world and you spend your time and energy directed towards that. Oh, and if you can enjoy yourself along the way, enjoy what you're doing, man, that's the whole point of life.
For the longest time, I wouldn't believe it. Then I saw the fields with my own eyes. I witnessed the culling of those who offered disagreements so that they could be liquefied and fed intravenously to the living. Facing the pure and horrifying precision of this dystopian nightmare that was said to have originated somewhere in Spokane, Washington, I realized the obviousness of the truth. What is the Matrix, Jack? Control.
I want to correct the Matrix. I want to bring it to order.
The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world.
Okay? I was allowed to say 4 fucking words. What I am offering is incredibly simple.
Let me help you out, Jack. Built to maintain control. In order to change a human being into this.
Why do you think that fucking helps?
I didn't say it would be easy.
Then chill out and recognize that as a man, you can have a conversation and a dialogue like having questions and answers.
I just said it would be the truth.
You've actually followed through with nothing. You're clearly in need of some love. Many people are. What the hell? Oh, jeez. Holy cows, man. Oh, my God. I don't think we're in Spokane anymore. I can't believe it. Morpheus was telling the truth. Whoa! Oh, hey there, brother. Choose peace, please. Holy fucking shit, brother!
I'm going to be as forthcoming as I can be.
What I'm offering, Smith, is that
we need your help.
I know. People like chaos. I don't want chaos. I'm trying to offer sincerely. Smith, you offer me nothing but. Smith, you're a fucking asshole.
final words before OTW plays us out? Plays us out of the Matrix, cop?
No final words. You guys are pathetic.
You will be assimilated.
Final words before OTW plays us out?
Thanks so much for having us, Paul. I just got
Thank
walked
you, Mr.
into.
O'Shea.
Yeah, appreciate it. We'll do it again tomorrow.
All right.
Brian.
I'll see you later. Stay strong, sir. Go ahead, Christos. Final words. Stop falling asleep on streams, Christos. Not a good look.
Doesn't look good for you, bro.
Not a good look, bro. All right, I'm throwing him out. He pulled a pineal on me after talking all this shit. Kicking him out. All right, OTW. I'm saying Mazel from out west. I'm thanking the audience for being here. I'm thanking the contributors and supporters behind and in front of the scenes. OTW, where are you going to be at when we leave here? I know you're going somewhere else.
I'm just going to my music channel. I'm going to be starting a broadcast in about, let's say, an hour.
Well,
and a
what's
half
the
from now.
music channel, dummy? I'm trying to get you to fucking promote indirectly here.
OTW Music and Art. That's the channel.
OTW Music and Art. All right. Well,
Yeah.
you're going there after this, and you're doing music and art there, apparently. So,
Right.
if folks want to join him there, he'll be over there with some other folks, I presume.
Yeah, hopefully
All right.
people will jump on and come and contribute and do their thing. Doesn't matter what instrument you play, as long as you've got a mic or you're hooked up to your computer and you sound good. Kudos to you. So
All right. Let's see what you got, OTW. Hit it.
all right, I'm going for it.
And I pray
Yeah, coming at ya.
All right.
OTW on the strings. OTW, if I get copyright stricken for that song, I'm going to kill you. Like, do we know that that's not going to be an issue? You got that guy singing instead of you singing. Why don't you just get the vocal
it's a
out of there
cover.
and you?
It's a cover. So it's like it'll go for a copyright claim maybe, but not a strike. Because you're not
Okay.
showing any video or anything. It says I'm playing the guitar. I'm the one doing the
All right.
guitar presentation, right? So it's like
I'll accept that.
Yeah, it's a cover. It's considered a cover song. So you'll get a claim, but not a strike.
All right, you got any final words before we check out of here?
No, peace out to everybody, and make sure you guys share this stream out as far-fetched as you can fucking imagine. Like, send it out to all your social media everywhere. If people
Seriously,
need
I
to-
got at least 1,000 folks here. They can't put up some fucking signs. They can't hand out some fucking cards. They can't post this shit on their
Flyers and
social
shit.
retard media. Come
Right.
on, man.
Yeah, you got to do this shit, man. We got to reach a wider
Broadcast
audience.
can't exist without you, the people. For you, the
Right.
people. Come on.
Exactly. You guys got to
Do the share thing. Do the like thing. The subscribe thing. I'm being coined that.
Absolutely. And the fucking, the gifts. Give generous gifts.
Oh, please. OTW, please. Now you're embarrassing me. All right? I'm a man of minimal means, and I live within my means, and I have everything I need. I'm thankful and grateful, and we're not doing a DeCastro here. We're not going to pass the hat around
Right. Okay.
and tell
Okay.
folks throw something in it.
All right. So, leading experts would agree that Paul Enslaved is the god of all media.
That's
Peace
true.
out, everybody. This is OTW News signing out for tonight. Peace and much love. Ciao, boys.
All right, OTW, we'll see you later. See, OTW gets it, and that is true. You know how it's true? Because it's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. It's on the banner. It wouldn't be on the banner if it wasn't true. Leading experts agree. Paul Enslaved is the god of all media. All right, folks, I'm out of here. Mazel from out west. Go on with the rest of your day. I love you. If you don't love the truth back, go fuck yourself. That's probably what I'm going to tell you at some point. Sean, I'm throwing you out because we're done. You gave your final word. You will be assimilated, the whole thing. You got to go after that. When I put you in the back, you leave. You don't just hang out back there. I love you, okay? It's going to be okay. I'm here for you. Daddy loves you. All right, tomorrow, 12 to 3, MDT, be there, or you're lame, as JG would say. Say goodnight to the bad guy. I'm out of here. You know how this goes, right? There's levels to this shit. Standing on truth and not wavering. But these folks want to talk all this high power shit, want to act like they're
God
righteous.
damn
You
it.
bitch ass motherfucker. I'm so sick of these people, bro. Never done a motherfucking thing and seemingly never will. You bitch ass motherfucker. First-hand experience can't be invalidated by the unknowing unbeliever. You bitch ass unexperienced. Are you kidding? Bitch ass. If it could, we wouldn't be here having these conversations because the devil would already have this place. You bitch ass motherfucker. What we're talking about is so concerning to realize the majority of the public will just sit around and watch shit that's bitch ass meaningless and valueless that gives them no application in the world to change their life. You bitch ass motherfucker. Experiential, observable, explainable, and demonstrable. What I represent in this thing, refocus, right? Re-energize. You bitch ass motherfucker. Do I want to go along to get to a bag? Bitch ass. Or am I calling everybody out on how we've fallen short so we could get somewhere with this? Because if not, it's all over at some point. The question is when. You bitch ass motherfucker. So how are you changing to meet life on life's terms and provide solutions to the problems we face? You bitch ass motherfucker. If you're not doing that, you bitch ass motherfucker, well then I gotta step out into the front, into the leadership position. I gotta put a target on me. You bitch ass. I gotta do what won't be done. Bitch ass. Right? It's not that it can't be done, it won't be done because they're cowardly. You bitch ass motherfucker. You're gonna have to hold fast to who and what you are and what you know. You bitch ass motherfucker. I know I'm the enemy because of what I stand for, what I do, and what I'm willing to say. Bitch ass, and what I'm not willing to do and say. You bitch ass motherfucker. Punk ass bitches are riding around in their convertible. Bitch ass, breathing in the toxic heavy metals. Bitch ass slave trails. You bitch ass motherfucker. I'm here. I'm calling everybody out. Anybody can get it. Gorilla season. Gorilla season. Anybody can get it. I'm here.
God of all media.